gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Welcome to WHW Monday. Tony Schiavone and Conrad Thompson.
Jim Crockett for Starrcade, 605 NWA. TV title, Cajun Omni, the Bunkhouse Stampede. Flair and Horseman, Garvin, Bogey, Magnum, Dusty, Express Tag Team. Turner, Bond, and Mid-South Joy World Championship Wrestling.
Talking about the great years of World Championship Wrestling, the NWA, and Jim Crockett Promotions.
Tony and Friends North, they win. Look, Schiavone's back again. World title split off center stage, Bischoff, Disney, Hogan, and Nitro. New World Order and the Crow. Thunder, Russo, Arquette, Champ, Vinnie, Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules, cat back. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chant. Tommy, you come over here.
What happened when?
WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of our motherfucking childhood, Noah Anthony Schiavone!
Man, you got some damn good lungs on you there, fella.
Man, I'm pretty fired up about today. You know?
You are?
Well, I really like covering bad shows here on the show because it makes for the most fun show. And I got to admit, I don't remember much about this show. Of course, we're talking about Fall Brawl 1993, but I fired up the old Google machine, pulled up the Wrestling Observer from September 27th, 1993. And I saw the way the readers voted the show.
Oh,
do you want to guess what the thumbs up percentage for Fall Brawl 93, according to the readers of the Wrestling Observer, was?
1%.
0.9%. Two thumbs up, 208 thumbs down, 9 thumbs in the middle. I'm fired up. This is going to be fucking epic. Fall Brawl 93. Here we come, baby.
I can't wait. 0.9. That sounds like that soap. 99.9% the shits.
Yeah, that's pretty much what this show is. And that means you and I are about to have a blast. If you've been living under a rock, the format here is we do a watch along. We encourage you to fire up your WWE network, go over to In-Ring, then click WCW, then click pay-per-views, and then find 1993. Eventually, you'll land on Fall Brawl 1993 from September 19th, 1993. It's 2 hours and 48 minutes. And we'll get a little help from a friend here, do a little countdown action. And when we say play, you press play, and we are off to the races. This is going to be fun, dude. I'm looking forward to this one.
I am too. You know, I always look forward to hanging out with you.
Yeah, this is the highlight of my week. Every week I have to tape wrestling podcasts, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 of them. And next week that will be 5. We hope everyone listening will go follow and like us on Twitter at The Arn Show, because you just this past week set up Arn Anderson's home rig, and he is now set up and ready to be live podcasting. Are you nervous, anxious, excited?
I'm a little nervous and very much excited. I'm nervous because, God bless him, I don't think he's ever used a mouse before. Now, that kind of took me aback that he's never used a mouse before. But when he worked in the WWE, he had a laptop and it had one of those, those touch pads. So he never really has worked. And I was saying, okay, you move it until the cursor's there and then you push your left finger. And I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, this is crazier than trying to teach Lois to
blow a guy.
Absolutely.
So, it's funny that he couldn't work a mouse, because I heard the Horsemen really were a hit with the Rats back in the 80s. And you would think that can't be that big of a difference, but I don't know.
Well, you just never know what you come across in 2019, but he's ready. He's ready to go, and it should be great. And he and I spent some time together. We actually went to his house, and then we got in his SUV and we drove to a music store because the mic stand that I had was not good enough for the mic that you had sent, and so went to the music store and we spent some time together, and oh man, he is so funny. And if you went to the Dean Malenko stage show at Starrcast 3, and you remember me saying Dean Malenko is a funny motherfucker, then you saw that I was correct, that I was right. He was absolutely hilarious. Well, the same thing can be said about Arn Anderson. And so trust me when I tell you he can be irreverent, he can be funny. It should be a great show. I need to ask you before we start this, how are those other two miserable fucks you do a podcast with?
Well, I do it with three other miserable fucks. One is your broadcast partner, Mr. Sassafras himself.
He's not miserable. He's like me. He's so thrilled about October 2nd coming up. I mean, we are really excited about that. I'm sincere about that. But, you know, Bruce, who I love, Eric, who I love, great guys. They're not driven down in the ground yet. No,
in fact, it's the other way. I think they've both been rejuvenated. You know,
good.
I think we sort of hinted around at this, but Bruce is actually moving to Connecticut. So he's going to be there all the time, and his travel life is about to change quite a bit. And he's really looking forward to that.
Yeah. I'm going to text him during Thanksgiving and say, hey, have you been over Vince's today? Going over TV. Just to, call some shit, but still, that's good. I mean, Eric has moved there too, hasn't he?
You're acting like you're not going to be in Chicago at the Kahn family Thanksgiving get together. Of course you are.
You're damn right I'd be there.
I was fixing to say, come on now. Listen, let's, without further ado, let's tag in our 6-man tag team partner here. And of course I get emotional whenever I'm talking to you about 6-mans, but whatever. You reckon she's awake? Is she available? Is she around?
She's awake. And unfortunately, 38 years ago, she was available. And then she's been a part of my life ever since then. Here is Lois Schiavone.
How about 3, 2, 1, play?
School bells are ringing. Holy shit.
Look at that. Look, there goes Tony running to the car. There's Lois with all the kids when she was homeschooling them.
You know what? We had a car in the Schiavone family like that. We did years ago.
I heard that was the car that you pulled up to the private plane and it was quiet. And then the doors open and you hear, ah, and then the door's shut and it goes quiet again. And that's when Arn hit the old shampoo line on you.
Yes, he did. Hey, we're going to Houston. Where are you going to see 3 title matches? Oh, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat against Lud Steven Regal. And you're going to see the Nasty Boys go up against the World Tag Team Champions, Arn Anderson and Paul Roma. Ric Flair and Rick Rude. And the most explosive match in wrestling history will finish it all, including the Shockmaster. War Games live from Houston. Hey, hold on. Whoa, Bill Watson. Oh, yeah. I ran out of things to say there, so I just start speaking in tongues.
Are you going to do that on Wednesdays?
No, I'll be ready to go Wednesdays, man. Can you imagine how much monster I'm going to have in me?
Well, I didn't know that was Jim's nickname for it.
Listen, I'm kind of surprised here. This must be right after JR left.
What a fucking look that your boy is sporting here. He's got the bald head, but he's got the ponytail in the back. He's got the Oakley glasses with like a croaky necklace on it, and the most Andrew Dice Clay / Affliction leather jacket covered in studs I've ever seen.
Yeah, and me got a lot of gel on that hair. Wouldn't you agree?
And look at that good looking motherfucker there. There's Eric Bischoff. Wait, hold on. I think Vince is calling on the other line. He says that WWE's on Fox. Wait, he's still talking. He says I've ruined it in record time. We gotta go.
I can't wait to see that show. Talk about pucker power that night. Hey, the ramp. I know you love the ramp.
I love the ramp.
Yep.
You know what? I feel like the guy from Anchorman. I love ramp. Remember he says, Steve Carell's character says, I love lamp. Well, I'm that guy for WCW. I love Ramp.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start out with Steamboat and Lord Steven Regal. Steven Regal is very, very upset that they have pyro. Take a look at that winch down to my left. Yeah, and then take a look at that prick to my right. Bill Dundee, man, one of the fastest talkers in the business. Bill Dundee was, we always equate, and rightfully so, Jerry the King Lawler with Memphis, but Bill was kind of an icon in Memphis as well, wasn't he?
Oh, big time.
Yeah, he really was. And of course, he also booked up with us a little bit, was part of that famous booking committee. This is where we're in a transition year here.
Oh, big time. It's not the old NWA anymore. Now it's WCW, and you had to sort of feel it out with the old guard for a little bit, but now we're transitioning into something else. JR's gone, and you're starting to get some of the big stars from the WWF. And that's really what you're going to hang your hat on for 1994. Nitro is going to change everything in 95. The NWO catches fire in 96, and we're off to the races. But this is the taint of WCW, in that it ain't the cock and nuts from Jim Crockett Promotions, and it ain't the asshole of the NWO. It's right in between. It's the taint of WCW.
It ain't the cock and the nuts, and it ain't the asshole.
It's
wow.
The taint. That's why it's called taint. You didn't know about that?
No.
Yeah. The reason it's called taint is because it ain't dick and it ain't balls and it ain't asshole. It's right in the middle. It's taint. By the way, speaking of taint, here comes Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. And you'll notice that, that belt taint gold. That's the World Television title. And that's the one that, Dave Milliken owns now and brings to some of our Starrcast events. So if you'd like to get your picture made with that belt individually, catch a Starrcast, and odds or chance it's there.
It's hard to believe, Michael Buffer opening up the event. It's hard to believe that the match that begins with Steamboat and Regal, two guys who can work, was such a shitty show. This should have been, man, right here we are. And it should have been a great match. And I guess maybe.
By the way, Ricky is 40 years old here. How good does he look for 40 years old?
I mean, it's amazing. He was always amazing.
Yeah.
40 years old there.
Yeah. 40 years old here. This is a good match.
Sure it is.
It can't not be, but Meltzer didn't necessarily love it. He gave it a 1 3/4.
Wow. A Steamboat match for 1 3/4. And take a look at the crowd.
They go long. That's the reason he didn't like it. They go 17 minutes and 5 seconds. And he even says at about 9 minutes, the match got boring.
Yeah.
Which I guess is something that, sometimes WCW would do. The matches on pay-per-view would go a little longer than they should have. How about the pockets of empty seats? Not a banner year for WCW in 1993.
Yeah. Vince would have never shown that.
No, even against the hard cam here, you can see pockets. He would have had people go collect from camera side and slide them over. Hey guys, you want to be on TV?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's just thinking ahead. And again, we talked about this being a transition period. This is a transition period, not only from, old school to new school, if I could use that term, but it's also a transition from Bill Watts to Eric Bischoff too.
We should mention there was one dark match. And, it was Eric Watts and Bobby Eaton. And Meltzer would say, luckily it didn't air because I was told this match would have only made a bad show worse. And the idea that they're saying that about a Bobby Eaton match tells you everything you need to know about Eric Watts. We should mention this card. Well, it's all downhill from here. We've got Charlie Norris and Big Sky coming up next. Then we got Too Cold and Marcus Bagwell, who are going to try to steal the show here. Luckily, the Equalizer and Paul Orndorff are going to stop them, Joey Janela style. Then we got Ice Train and Shanghai Pierce. Then we got the Nasty Boys, Arn Anderson and Paul Roma. Then we got Cactus Jack and Yoshi Kwan. And then we got Rick Rude and Ric Flair. And then our main event, the War Games. And the War Games has the fucking Shockmaster. So, yeah, not a great show.
Yeah. Anytime you say Shockmaster, anytime you say Equalizer, you're going to have a shitty match, man. And not only that, by this time, I don't know, everything's kind of running together, right? I mean, one chitty match after one chitty match, and you got to put them over. And fortunately, I think Jesse and I did as good as we could do on the commentary with this stuff, because we were both there for the intro of the Shockmaster, and so we saw that and we laughed along with it. We tried our best to put some of these guys over, and it's what you had, man.
What you got later coming up is Tony Reed's rap, and we're going to do a doubleheader edition this week. We got really good feedback from last week's show. I think it's the highlight for most of our listeners every week. I get such overwhelming feedback about that segment, don't you?
Yeah, I hear a lot about it. I'm not that thrilled about doing it at times. Some songs are okay, and although the songs we got picked up here, one of them is pretty cool.
Yeah. So before we tell you what's coming up today, we should give you a preview of what might be coming up next week. And Tony, I'm going to let you, I'm going to tell you 3 artists, and I'm going to let you pick 2. And that'll be who we do next week.
Oh, rapping wise.
Yes.
Okay.
Eminem.
Okay.
Afro Man. DJ Quick.
Well, we're definitely going to do DJ Quick.
Okay. So DJ Quick coming up next week. The name of the song is Sweet Black Pussy.
I knew that was coming.
All right. And, Afro Man or Eminem?
I'm going to go with Afro Man.
All right. So had you picked Eminem, we would have done Shake That. But since you picked Afro Man, next week we'll do DJ Quick's Sweet Black Pussy and Afro Man's Because I Got High. So that's what's coming up next week. This week, of course, later on in the show, we'll be featuring Many Men by 50 Cent and Back Then by Mike Jones.
Who?
I love that you're in on the gag now. But of course, what we got right now is 2 of the all-time greats, Lord Steven Regal. And he's trying to take that World Television Championship off of Ricky Steamboat. But the big news coming into the show, and this is really probably the thing we'll spend the most time talking about during this match, happens 4 days prior to the show at a Charlotte courthouse. How about that? The National Wrestling Alliance, which is a group of several promoters worldwide, but only one of whom at present even had a TV show, and none of them were running like a full-time promotion. They're attempting to get a temporary restraining order against WCW to keep them from advertising the Ric Flair-Rick Rude match as a world heavyweight title match of any kind. The NWA believed it would, should the match and result take place as scheduled, create the idea amongst wrestling fans that Rick Rude was the NWA champion, since Rude was scheduled to win the belt, synonymous with the title, which had up until 1 week prior to the event been billed as an NWA championship. And I got to tell you, I've always been fascinated by this, because as soon as Jim Crockett Promotions is bought out by Ted Turner, it's no longer called Jim Crockett Promotions. It's called World Championship Wrestling, and they would still present themselves as NWA Wrestling, but slowly but surely that would change. We know when Flair leaves, he's going to take the big gold belt with him. They debut the new belt that Luger and Vader and Sting and Ron Simmons and all those folks would wear, and they would call that the WCW World Title. But when the big gold belt comes back, they're going to reintroduce it as the NWA World Title. And here, allegedly, these handful of fucking promoters have a real problem with Rick Rude calling himself the NWA World Champion. So they try to put a stop to it. And this is not when, like, the NWA at this point consists of guys like Dennis Coralluzzo, God rest his soul, not shitting on him, just saying it's not like they're making some big major run here. It's just sort of local stuff. What'd you think of this? We don't want Rick Rude. We don't want you to call it the NWA World Title, and we're going to sue you to stop you.
It was, and I know I'm right here, it was a bunch of no names trying to be relevant or trying to win the lottery, trying to be a part of this. That's all it was. This is all a work. It's all a work. Now, now you can buy things. Now the NWA is a property.
Right.
But back then it wasn't. So who all was involved in aside of that one dead guy?
Well, let me continue the report here from the Observer.
Okay.
On September 1st, WCW withdrew as a member of the NWA, and the NWA Board of Directors, which by the NWA bylaws controls and has decision-making power over the NWA World Heavyweight title, refused to sanction the title change, and at their annual convention on September 3rd, decided to take control of the championship and create a new champion. So the deal is they wanted to say about how things happened with this belt on TV. Of course, WCW, owned by Ted Turner, is like, go fuck off. So they withdraw on the 1st, and they decide 2 days later, well, we'll just crown a new champion. By the way, no one will know because it's not on TV. It was written several of the NWA members were led to believe an out-of-court settlement was reached on principle on September 14th, when WCW led the NWA lawyer Ed Lyons to believe they were accepting the NWA's proposal that would allow WCW to go through with the Flair-Rude title change, provided WCW agrees to have Rude drop the title clean to a wrestler of the NWA's choosing on an NWA house show before January 31st, 1994. That is so silly to me that WCW is like, yeah, we'll have him drop the belt to somebody somewhere eventually. Lots of other provisions in here as well, including WCW not being allowed to discredit the NWA name or title. And they're supposed to give the NWA the possession of the championship belt. Of course, they're talking about the big gold belt.
Right.
And if Rude wouldn't do the clean job to the wrestler of the NWA's choosing, then WCW would pay the NWA $100,000 per day in damages. Of course, early the next morning, the NWA lawyers were told that there might be a problem because WCW was concerned that Rude wouldn't agree to do the job. And obviously, if that was the case, the price in that daily penalty was just way too steep. The counteroffer was made that the Flair-Rude match would be billed simply as for the World Heavyweight title, and the result of the match would go as planned. And then on the broadcast, the announcers would read a disclaimer that this wasn't an NWA World Heavyweight title match, and the National Wrestling Alliance did not sanction this event as a title match, which apparently the NWA was still willing to accept. Later that morning, WCW pulled out of negotiating a settlement and announced that it had hired Faison Hicks to represent them in court for the temporary restraining order scheduled for that afternoon. And Hicks had represented both the NWA and WCW in a 91 case against Vince McMahon and won. And of course, this is when it was taken to court that Rick couldn't wear the big gold belt on WWE TV, which is just, I mean, it is the most storied belt in history because of all this, shenanigans that's happened with here, the WWE and the NWA and WCW craziness. What do you remember about this? What were you hearing about it at the time?
The only thing I heard about it, and the only thing that we did, every time we heard about it, we rolled our eyes. We kind of rolled our eyes to the fact that do you think Vince would have paid attention to this?
Fuck
lawsuit?
No.
WCW back in the day was settlement crazy. I mean, if you sued them, oh my God, we better do something about it. We all thought it was a joke. And Conrad, it was a joke. Come on.
Yeah.
$100,000 a day. First of all, I laugh at an NWA convention.
Right.
I mean, what's the NWA convention? It's going to be what, 4 guys sitting around a table?
Yeah. In 93, you mean not 1983, but 93.
Right. We all thought it was a joke. And on the, as far as everybody who was performing was concerned, we didn't pay attention to it at all. So what finally happened? I don't even know what finally happened.
Well, you know what happened. They told him to fucking suck a root.
Right. That's what they should have done at the beginning. So suck a root. I love that term.
It's just silly, man, that this is.
Yeah, it's bullshit. It's wrestling bullshit. It's all it is. Jim Crockett made the NWA more relevant on a national level than any other promoter. Made it more relevant. And thus, when he went on TBS, and thus WCW made it more relevant than any other.
We should mention that the NWA did have plans for who would have hypothetically been the person to beat Rude and become the new NWA World Champion.
Oh, really?
At the convention, they discussed 3 names: Road Warrior Hawk, Terry Funk, and Ted DiBiase. And that leaks out to the Observer and the Torch. And a lot of the NWA members are pissed off that that's now been made public. WCW reopened negotiations with Hawk and DiBiase once this is printed. And they're having serious talks back and forth, including DiBiase wanted $125,000 for 100 dates with WCW, and WCW didn't want to make that commitment, which I got to tell you, in 1993, fucking Ted DiBiase's worth $125,000 all day.
Yes, he is.
I mean, my gosh.
I know.
I think that's like the most reasonable contract request I may have ever seen.
That's right.
Like Ted DiBiase today in 2019 is worth 125, and he ain't even wrestling. Just
that's right.
Go stand over there, Mr. DiBiase. Here's your money. I don't know that we've talked about that, but here's a little peek behind the curtain. I've used Ted DiBiase once at a Starrcast. Huge success. Like, I don't know what it is, but guys like Ted DiBiase and Jimmy Hart, big line everywhere they go. If you grew up on those guys, you want to meet them, and people are not disappointed. Highly recommend, if you're listening to this and you're a promoter, you book a Ted DiBiase or a Jimmy Hart.
I agree. And not only that, I think you go back and you take a look at what the $1 Million Man meant to the WWE back then. The angle, the $1 Million Man angle with the selling of the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the best angle ever to me.
Yeah, I agree. Me and Bruce have covered that.
Yeah.
The main event angle with the double referee gimmick. And we still think it's one of the best things of all time. And by the way, Meltzer agreed with us here. He says WCW didn't want to make that commitment, which should tell you something about the future contract negotiations with a lot of wrestlers, because there aren't a lot of DiBiase caliber performers in this country.
And it was Eric Bischoff doing the negotiating back then, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
It wasn't?
Okay. No, I don't think so.
All right.
You do?
Well, he wasn't running the company. Well, he was running the company back then, wasn't he?
I don't know that he was doing it at this point.
Okay.
I mean, I'm saying he was like in charge of television, I think. I don't think he was like,
all right.
I could be wrong.
This was the 3-headed monster we had back then.
We should mention that it's 1994 when he's promoted from executive producer to executive vice president, which put him in charge of everything. So that's the next year. So I think here in 93, he's still, working his way up the ladder.
I think we had, if I recall, if I'm right back at this time, we had Ole Anderson in charge of wrestling, Sharon Sadello in charge of marketing, and Eric in charge, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And Eric in charge of TV. So this would have been Ole Anderson not wanting to pay. And I can see that because he was title fucker.
Well, and Ole Anderson's the guy who famously told Ric Flair after he lost a loser leaves town match to Kurt on Raw, well, what good are you to me now since you just lost on TV?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine asking Ric Flair in 93, what good are you now? Are you fucking serious, bro?
Yeah.
Just on WrestleMania. I'm pretty useful.
Well, look, Ole never liked Flair ever. So
no, there was a great clip of him doing an interview years ago where he says that Flair was the shits and Flair couldn't work. And it was the same goddamn match every time. And Flair thought it was only a good match if it was a long match. He had to have every match be the fucking longest match. And he would go out through the curtain and just yell, hurry the fuck up. And, just yell, go home and shit like that. And of course that annoyed Flair because he thought he wanted to give the people their money's worth and wanted the performance to keep going. And there's two different styles. Well, eventually Ole would say in some shoot interview somewhere, that's why I made him the goddamn champion, just to get him out of our fucking territory. Cause the champion had to go work all these other territories and then he'd get the fuck out of here. If I just give him the belt, he'd have to leave.
Oh, that sounds like Ole Anderson. Buddy.
I just thought it was great. I got tired of that motherfucker. So I made him champion so he'd leave. So it just tickled me.
Yeah, that's you had to know Ole. That's all him, man. That was all him. I wonder how he's doing. As on we go into the future in pro wrestling, take a look at this now. How long have they been going? They got to be close to their finish here. There it is. That's got to be it. No, that's not it.
17 minutes is going to be what we're looking at for the finish. We should mention this got the second best match according to the readers of the Observer. Number one in a runaway is Flair Rick Rude, and then with about a third of the votes, Steamboat Regal is second.
Okay.
No debating what the worst match is, though. It's anything with fucking Ice Train.
Mm.
What do you think Ice Train's doing these days?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about him. I'd be interested to find out, though. You know, maybe DDP knows.
He knows everything.
I know he does. There's your finish. 1, 2, 3. Give me the belt. He is still the champion, or he is the new champion.
Ice Train, by the way, debuted with you guys in June, and this is his pay-per-view debut here.
That's how we should have announced it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a one-fall match. In this corner, Ice Train. And his opponent making his way to the ring. It doesn't fucking matter. It's going to be a lousy match. Come on down. Wouldn't that have been cool?
Man, how ahead of the... Look at that. I love that. Bill Dundee with the cane shot.
Yep.
Right after Ricky got to skin the cat and show off that athleticism so late in the match. German suplex. Little bridge. Gets the shoulder up. There's your finish. And new television champion. I got to tell you, it made Regal look like a badass, but a villain, and he had to cheat. And it told a good story with Steamboat. All right, hang on now. I've got Eric Bischoff here, and in my ear, I've got Vince McMahon who's telling me that unbelievably he used to hire you gap tooth fucks, but you're not going to be on SmackDown.
Well, you know, just like everybody else over the last couple of months, we've called Tony Schiavone and say, "Hey, Tony, can you talk to Tony Khan? Can you talk to Cody Rhodes? Can you get us a job? We'll do anything because I know there's money out there. We work for the WWE. We'd like to work for AEW because we've got a lot of great ideas, don't we?" Yeah, that's right. One of my great ideas was XWF. And that lasted like 3 weeks. But I ran that company in the ground. You hire me in AEW, I'd run them in the ground too. We're good at running shit to ground because we are nasty. You got it, Jack? Nasty. That's what we are.
All right, let's go back. Let's get out of here. They're trying to tell me about their GoFundMe. I guess Brian needs a new knee, and I may too. By the way, shout out to Brian Knobs. If you're a Nasty Boy fan, I know I've talked about a lot here on the show. I am definitely a fan of the Nasty Boys. They're like a guilty pleasure of mine. Oh my God, this looks like Chris Jericho's big brother. Big Sky on his way to the ring, aka if Jericho was on the gas. Hey, so Brian Knobs needs a new knee, man, and took to GoFundMe, needing a little help. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Yeah, so I just wanted to mention it to everybody. If you're a Nasty Boy fan like I am, you should probably check it out and consider it. Every little bit helps.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think he only needs like 10 grand to get there. He's more than halfway, as I checked most recently. But if you're a Knobs fan or a Nasty Boy fan, you enjoy what we're doing here, take a look at it, man. You'll be glad you did.
I saw Brian Knobs when I did an autograph signing at the old ECW show or venue a couple of years ago, and he had lost. Oh my God! My God!
Are you okay?
Yeah, Charlie Norris and the Rain Dance. Just I forgot what I was talking about. Oh, sorry, I saw Brian.
I thought for a minute that maybe Missy Hyatt had come out, but no, you're transfixed by Charlie Norris.
Yeah, I just we had a long in 2012. We had a long drought in Georgia. It was very, very bad. Lake Lanier, which is our main water supply to the Metro Atlanta area, lost a lot of it. It went way down. We had Charlie Norris come out and do a rain dance for us, and we got rain. Anyway, I was talking that Brian Knobs had lost a lot of weight. He's really one of the good guys, and my best to him. And no, it was a joke. They have not called me about a job in AEW. So there.
But I bet you have been getting a lot of calls.
I have been. People have been in touch with me. Yes.
And, I don't work there, but I get at least 4 a day.
Do you?
Every day.
Yeah.
That's like,
and you know,
it's like, dude, I don't even work there.
Yeah. You know what? And I probably shouldn't even say this.
We'll do it anyway.
Okay. But if you're my friend and I've worked with you in the business and we have been friends before and you ask me to do you a favor, I will go to them and say, I heard it from this person. This is your decision. Okay. I'm not going to push anybody, but I'm going to do what a friend would do. Say, there's somebody out there that has said, if you have anything, here's what you can consider. So, but I'm not going to say, oh, you should hire him. Yeah, I think you should. I'm not doing that, but I'm going to just pass along your desires.
Well, thanks a lot, Tony.
You're welcome.
I mean, goddamn, you'd think if I can get you back in the business, you'd put in a good word for me, but no.
Well, just get.
Whoa.
And see if you don't see that fat son of a bitch on there with me.
Hang on now.
Okay.
All right. So right now, if you're listening on Patreon, you are not hearing an ad. It's probably about dick hair or dick pills or whatever. Instead, we're going to give you a little Patreon exclusive. I'm going to introduce Tony to a song, not one he's going to sing, but a song that I thought he would get a kick out of. It's from a band named Steel Panther. Are you familiar with Steel Panther, Tony?
No. Is that a rap group?
No, it's not. It's a rock and roll group, and they're kind of like an 80s hair tribute band, except it's all like parody songs, and they're all over the top and gross and dirty and awesome. You ready?
Oh, okay.
So here's a song called Community Property, and you're not doing any lyrics. You're just going to give us your feedback. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. What about that? I love you, but my cock is community property.
There you go.
Is that the most Ric Flair rock song ever?
That is. What are they called? Steel Panther?
Steel Panther.
Wow. How about that? That's pretty fucking cool.
I'll kiss your mouth even after you swallow my load.
Where was that song when we were back in the 80s running around?
How about if you were a hooker, I'd be glad to pay. If you were a guy, I'd be suddenly gay. My heart belongs to you, but I need you to hit Lois with the old community property line. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go up to her one night, just kind of, put my arms around her like I do, and she's on her phone, not paying any fucking attention to me like she do. And I'm going to say, honey, my heart belongs to you. I'll kiss her on her neck. She'll smile. And I say, but my cock is community property. That would turn the mood around in a minute, wouldn't it?
Tony Schiavone was 62 years old. That would be the headline. I can't wait to introduce you to all kinds of new songs this week.
You have opened up my eyes, my friend.
No,
a lot of things.
When I'm over at your house this week.
You're not coming. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Coming to your house.
Okay.
I'm going to look for my tag team belt. 6-man tag. Introduce you to some new songs.
You will open up that attic and you'll walk up in the attic and you'll go, nah, fuck this.
Here you go. Here goes the chorus. So there you go. Community property, boys and girls. I can't wait to show you some new shit next week, Tony. This is going to be, it's going to be fun and Patreon exclusive too. You going to wear this sort of get up or outfit when you're on Wednesdays, do you think?
No, I'm not. I know what I'm going to wear on Wednesdays.
You're going to wear a blazer that says AEW on it?
Yes, of course I am.
I like it.
And if you go to the AEW YouTube channel, you'll see that I've been wearing one on the road to TNT. Man, I'm so excited about that. I am. Who the fuck is this kid?
My goodness. Let's play the audio here.
In the War Games, you got the quickness of Harlem Heat, the power of Vader, and Big Sid Vicious. Your comments?
Well, you know, Scott, Vader is very strong and very tough. Sid Vicious is very quick. And Harlem Heat is very sneaky. But the British Bulldog, they've got the power to watch out for him. Then you've got the natural Dustin Rhodes. Then you've got the speed of Sting. And now we've got the big Shockmaster, all 400 plus pounds. We're not going to quit. We're not going to surrender. We're going to see who is the champion at War Games.
Let's go back to the ring and the irrepressible Gary Michael Capella.
Scott Dunlop, who is the interviewer there, the stick man for the British Bulldog. And he had cerebral palsy. So pretty cool deal that you guys were letting him have a turn here.
That's great. That shocked me because I did not remember that at all. And there's another kid out there who was born with cerebral palsy and has made quite a name for himself on a national level. His name is Jason Benetti. You hear him on a lot of ESPN football games. He's TV announcer for the White Sox. He has overcome a lot in his life. And he's a good friend. And
well, when it comes to wrestling, when you think of cerebral palsy, I think of a friend of the show, Gregory Iron on Twitter. He's been wrestling for a long, long time, and he had a tag team with a guy named Hobo Joe, and they called themselves the Homeless Handicap Connection. Which is pretty good. And he teamed with Zach Gowen, the famous one-legged wrestler from WHW, and they called themselves the Handicap Handguns. That's real.
Are you serious?
Yeah. A great guy. Solid follow on Twitter at Gregory Iron on Twitter, if you'd like to check him out.
Oh my God. All right. Here's one of your favorite tag teams of all time, Conrad.
Here they come dancing. I think me and you need to do this if we do live shows ever again, now that you're busy.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at Buff Bagwell. That's how he was dancing on the way to the parking lot before Atlas got him.
Looks awfully young here. Hey, you know what? We've shit on Buff a number of times, and probably rightfully so.
Well, we'll do it a lot more. We're not running out.
Well, yes, we're not. That's right. It's never stopped us. But when he first started, he was a very young, good-looking man. He was. Okay, and I'm saying that not in a sexual way. He was a very handsome man. Wasn't he? Okay. I guess I'm the only one commenting on that.
Yep.
Paul Orndorff had to be pretty pissed off, okay? I mean, here's a guy who had to wrestle for us. Coming up in a few years, he would have to wrestle the Renegade, right? And here now we're asking him to wrestle with Evad. Dave Sullivan, to be Evad, right now as the Equalizer. Stop talking into the camera. God. And as good a guy as the Equalizer was, and he was a nice man, Boy, was he terrible. But he was put into a spot to where.
Oh, it ain't his fault.
Right.
That's you guys, really. Y'all don't know what the fuck you were doing with him.
No, we didn't. Somebody looked at him one time and says, does he not look like Kevin Sullivan to you? And that's where we came up with the idea of Kevin Sullivan's brother.
I feel like most of the gimmicks in this era were just sort of half-assed. I mean, the Equalizer gimmick, you know, from the furry boots and all that, the presentation, he looks like a villain from like every 80s movie.
Right.
He's at least cast in the right role to be the bad guy, though.
Yeah.
Thankfully, this match is star and a half. By the way, we should mention Charlie Norris and Big Sky got a dud. Is that a surprise?
No surprise at all.
This one here, going to get star and a half. Coming up next, though, Ice Train and Shanghai get -1 star.
Well, Shanghai went on to have a pretty good career. And we'll talk about that when he comes out. But Scorpio.
Man, Scorpio was so far ahead of his time, was he not?
Yes, he was.
How about this? If you don't like Too Cold Scorpio, fuck you. Dude, he was awesome. I love him.
Hey, if you don't like Too Cold Scorpio, fuck you. Okay.
I'm fine with that. Aren't you?
Yeah, I am too. That's how I feel sometimes about people who don't like our podcast. But I get it. You can't please everybody. I understand that.
Well, enough people liked it to make you a goddamn millionaire. So got that going.
I am not a millionaire. Let me say that.
Yeah. We know yet.
Okay.
All the wires haven't come through. But when all the wires are through, it's a done deal, baby.
Yeah. But I'd like to say this about the new company that I'm working for.
Oh, Jesus Christ. This is feeling more and more like Grilling JR every week. It's just,
really?
You know, we're supposed to be talking about Fall Brawl 93 and you fucks just can't help but just beat off to AEW. I love AEW too. Starrcast 4, Full Gear, Roll Tide, but you're disparaging and ruining a perfectly good Equalizer Buff Bagwell match. And I won't stand for it. Okay. On second thought. Yeah. What about AEW? Go ahead. My bad. Lapse in judgment.
I knew you couldn't say that without laughing. Ruining a perfectly good Equalizer match. Yeah. We have some very good creative people that are behind the scenes. We really do. We have some great creative people behind the scenes, and I'm thrilled about working with them. Names that you wouldn't know if I'd say their names, but they're just tremendous. And I'm excited about working with them. I really am.
I like that you tried to put them over, but then you're like, hey, but they're a bunch of no-name fucks. So I'm not even worth mentioning. QT. I mean, that's, you're talking about really nice guys who are
Steve
Jones. Yeah. Steve U.
Dill Pickle.
Dylan. I mean, people that most of our listeners would know, but you're like, oh no, they're not worthy of a mention. Just, if you're going to put them over. That's like, that's the most backhanded compliment ever. It's like, if you're like, oh my gosh, what a beautiful dress. And she's like, oh my God, thank you. And then you're like, yeah, my mom wears that one too.
You know what? I cannot say anything nice about people without you shitting on me for saying nice things about people.
You didn't. You collectively grouped up a bunch of people, teased like you were going to put them over, and then when it came time to name their names, said, fuck it, Schiavone. Just, hey, Steve, you're a genius. QT, you're the man. We love you, Dylan. What's wrong with that? Matt Jackson, Roll Tide. I mean, just fucking hit them up. Hey, Dana, how's it going? God. Great job.
Robert.
Chrissy, you're doing great. Mm. How about old Jeffrey? Oh, we love Jeffrey. Like, just say that, put them over or fucking don't.
Okay, they're all great. Thank you. I put them over.
Thank you.
Now, meanwhile, in the ring,
The Equalizer
the Equalizer
makes a hot tag to the atrophied Paul Orndorff. Dick Dancer down. Dick Dancer down.
And where's his partner? If you don't like his partner, fuck you. He's ahead of his time. He's nowhere to be found.
Here's what I know. Here's all I know about Too Cold Scorpio.
All right.
Likes marijuana.
Okay.
Really big for doing as many high flying maneuvers as he does. Like he's doing 450s and leg drops off the top and crazy shit at a weight that, you know, is like 2 luchadors. And supposedly him and Colonel Robert Parker had some things in common.
Ah, big dicks, you would say.
Whoa.
What else would it be? Too Cold Scorpio is not a 6'7" white guy.
They're friendly with Sherry. I don't know.
Okay.
But you're saying you have it on.
I don't say. I was theorizing. As you would say, I was freestyling here when you came up with that. First thing I thought of.
And he supposedly, according to you, has a great big dong.
Yeah. So you said he, what were you referring to then? Why don't you tell me when you said he apparently has something in common with Colonel Robert Parker?
Well, I'm glad you asked. They both worked the territories. They both worked WCW. They both worked for WWE. And now they're sort of quietly enjoying semi-retirement with the occasional appearance here or there. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know why when I say that one guy has something in common with another guy, to you, it's automatic. Oh, it's gotta be the size of their dicks.
Well, I think, Dick jokes kind of made us famous, haven't it?
Wait, are you saying I'm famous?
Yes, you are.
Really?
Yes.
What alternate universe am I famous in?
Okay. I challenge you to go to a WWE or an AEW show. I challenge you.
I go all the time.
But I challenge you to sit in the front row and then walk through the lobby and see how many people stop and ask you for your autograph. I challenge you that. I know the answer to this. Okay. So don't say I'm just another fan. You know what? 4 years ago, maybe so, but bull fucking shit now. Why are you cussing me? What? Not bullshit, but bull fucking shit now.
Boy, you're just being mean.
No, I'm not being mean. I'm being truthful. Boy, Paul fell off that time. Oh man, they're beating him up. Hey, I'm enjoying this match, aren't you?
Oh, it's so great.
Oh God. Were you
I love when you raise your voice.
Were you a WCW? Were you off of wrestling in September of '93?
Yep.
We're done with it.
Yeah, I'd put it down.
What were you into in September of '93?
That's a good question. Football, basketball.
Okay.
I watched a lot of basketball on TV from probably 1990 through 1997.
Okay.
I watched basketball. I mean, every night that it was on.
College, NBA. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I was. Oh my gosh, Scorpio just unloading on Equalizer.
Yeah. Scorpio had a pretty good sense of timing here. He knew that this match had kind of slowed down, so he was going to pick it up. Nope. Paul took a pretty good bump on a drop kick that really did not
connect. Over the cameraman, and there he goes.
Jack
flying cross body.
That's got to be the finish. One. Oh. Poor old Evad couldn't even take a good bump.
Look at Paul's right arm. You can really see the effects here now.
Yeah, I know. Wonder how Paul's doing. Have you contacted Paul about coming out and doing anything?
We had one brief conversation once and it didn't work out, but
okay.
I know he had a rough patch where he had some medical bills and had fallen behind on some taxes or a mortgage or whatever and did a GoFundMe, and that was successful and he managed to save the house, and that's great news, man. You know, I heard a story about Paul years ago. I don't know if it's true or not, but supposedly, this is rumor and innuendo, but supposedly Vince went to the main eventers of WrestleMania. And of course he had leveraged himself in a big way, supposedly going from one bank and showing a financial statement that showed he had X amount of cash, and he got that to get a loan, and then put the proceeds from that loan on his balance sheet, and then provided an updated P&L with a new balance sheet to a new bank without disclosing the loan, and just showing that cash as if it were an asset that he had earned. And he did this with a multitude of banks, sort of an advanced form of kiting of sorts, and leveraged himself, over leveraged himself to allow WrestleMania to not only exist, but exist on such a big platform. So because he's in a cash crunch at the time, and he really has pushed all his chips in, he went to the main eventers, Roddy Piper, Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, Paul Orndorff, and Bob Orton, and said, hey, I want you guys to be a part of this, and I want this to be, hugely successful. Here's the situation. I've risked a lot of money, put a lot of money on the line here. I can pay you X amount of dollars for the match, and we can do it, now, or we can wait till some of the revenues and proceeds come in, and you guys can participate at a much bigger level, but you would be paid when those revenues came in, be it 30, 60, 90, 120 days from now, whatever. And all but one took the big money option. One guy took the, nope, don't believe in that bullshit. I'll take the money today. And that was Paul Orndorff.
Wow.
So supposedly he got like I don't know, I'm freestyling, a $10,000 payday, but had he waited, it would have been 10X or more.
Well, as you just heard from Conrad Thompson there, he did not take the big payday, but I took the big payday, and I moved from Wyoming to a brand new home in beautiful downtown Stamford, Connecticut. Billy, would you have done something that ludicrous?
It's you, baby.
Let me say this, my good fellow. Would you stop sticking your finger in your fucking ear? And I'm going to become one of the greatest trainers in all of WWE. The only problem is at the school that I run, they're going to have Terry Taylor. That's right. They're going to have the red fucking rooster. They're going to have him trained. Don't they know that Terry's a stooge? Don't they? Wait a minute. When you talk about stooge, buddy, you need to talk about the two guys down in the front, Schiavone and Ventura. They're stooges. I'm talking filthy person. Nevertheless, I have guys like Terry Taylor helping out, training people. And you wonder why we're not training good people anymore. All right. Well, you can say all you want about Terry Taylor. The fact is the Stooges are at ringside. Let's go to him right now.
By the way, I don't know that a lot of our listeners know this, but Bill Dundee's son is Jamie Dundee, AKA JC Ice from PG-13. And Jamie Dundee has been, pretty entertaining. If you're a fan of shoot interviews and the like, quite the gimmick for himself. And his daughter, of course, talking about Bill Dundee, his daughter wound up marrying Bobby Eaton.
Right.
What a weird world it is where Bill Dundee's daughter, Donna, marries one of the greatest tag team wrestlers of all time, Bobby Eaton.
They're no longer married, I don't think, or they may be. I don't know. I can't remember what Bobby told us.
Well, are you talking about when he was a guest on our show?
Right.
Yeah. I think the deal is they're married. She just doesn't speak to him or whatever.
Oh, there you go. Here we go, buddy. Here we go. Woo, 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 woo. Ice train coming through, baby. Woo, woo.
Did you just call him ice cream?
Ice train. I was slip with the tongue. Ice train coming through. Woo, woo. Look at the arms, the legs, the chest, the traps on he has on him. Look how big this guy is, Jesse Ventura. Like a locomotive. Woo, woo. Yeah, baby. What did you think of Ice Train, Conrad?
I fucking hated him. I didn't want him on TV. I didn't understand why he was there. He's a black Bill Kazmaier without all the records.
And what, I mean, all right.
Fuck him.
No, look, okay. I know you like Scorpio Sky a lot better. I get that.
Scorpio Sky. Can we stop talking about AEW? Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, Scorpio Sky is really one of the better performers in the world today.
I'm not arguing that, but
and he just so happens to be on AEW.
He has nothing in common with Ice. He's black. That's it. That's the only thing that.
Okay, no. I was talking about a guy that can fly compared to a guy who's grounded, strong, and powerful. Wrestling style is what I was talking about. Okay, let me get this out. The fact is, I think.
Let me get this out.
I think there's something to be said for a strong, powerful, grounded guy. Everybody doesn't have to flip flop and fly around anymore. Don't you agree with that?
Okay.
Is that what? That why you didn't like Ice Train? He had somewhat of a personality coming to the ring. He was smiling. He was involved with the fans.
Tony.
Okay.
I'm wrong, and I want you to show me the light. So show me the light here. What's your favorite Ice Train match?
Let's see. It's got to be this one.
Tell me
how many stars did this get?
-1.
-1. Are you sure you weren't looking in the mirror? And it was 1.
I don't even know what that means. Let me ask. What's your favorite Ice Train promo?
Okay. It had to be the first one he ever did because he was on top of his game.
What did he say in it? What did he say? Do you remember?
He went, "Hey, Schiavone, woo, woo, I'm Ice Train, woo, 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 locomotive coming through, woo, woo." And he walked away, and I thought, man, that's some good shit right there.
I mean, if he would have kissed you, it was basically a fucking promo from the old TBS days.
Yeah, it'd have been like me and Jimmy Valiant.
You think Ice Train was kissing anybody?
I know what you're leading me into, and I ain't going to go there anymore.
What? I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. Okay, let's see come on, let's get into this match. Come on, let's try to make this match a little bit better.
All right,
than it really
Ice Train looking for
there you go.
A test of strength here with Shanghai Pierce. I don't know if he's ready because Shanghai's idea, and everybody knows if the heel. He kicked him in the no.
Oh my God, fucking heel move. Shanghai Pierce, man. He's going to be a Godwin, isn't he? In later life.
Yes. He's
going to be a hog farmer in later life. Hog farmer, pig farmer. And there are some good pig farmers out there.
Really?
I shouldn't have made fun of them. I know some pig farmers. I need to, you know what I need to do? What? I need to put you in a car and drive you to where I grew up.
Okay.
And you won't believe it.
What does that mean?
Well, it means small, modest, really small time surroundings. I'll guarantee you that Guntersville is 10 times bigger, 10, 20, 30 times bigger than Craigsville, Virginia.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when I say I've known some pig farmers, I've known some guys who've had trout farms. But
Craigsville, Virginia, according to the 2010 census, had 923 people in it.
How about that?
Guntersville had 8,197.
I was right again. Hey, wins! How about that?
Woo woo! Woo!
Check Slazenger. Woo woo!
Woo woo!
He's pounding away. He's got a right hand. Out goes Slazenger. Oh my God! Your winner is Ice Train.
Woo woo! Woo woo!
Look at them trapped, baby.
Woo! What? Did we just become Ice Train fans here?
We did, man. We put him over probably better than Jesse and I did right there in real time.
I'm not going to go for it.
Okay.
I don't like him. Fuck him.
You just like those high flyers like Scorpio Sky.
So why do you keep talking about AEW? Halloween Havoc 1993 coming your way on October 24th. Ooh.
Behind the bookcase.
That's where Lois keeps the dog hair. Ooh. Hey, by the way, did you see that they on the network they finally uploaded the old WCW all-nighter gimmicks?
I have not seen it, but I've seen a lot of tweets about it that people are watching.
Tons of tweets. And like, when are you covering it? When are you covering it? When are you covering it? Okay, guys, we will. eventually, but we, I got to actually watch them first.
Yeah.
So I can shit upon them. Supposedly you had real short shorts, had them legs showing, had a hiked up, had a lot of ham showing. And supposedly, Bobby Heenan even makes a joke that Lois needs to come run the vacuum, clean up some of the goddamn dog hair. He was an innovator. He was ahead of his time. I'd never seen that. And we both went to that same place.
Well, there you go. We apparently have dog hair from the 90s still in this house. How about that? And those dogs are dead, but their hair's still here. I mean, we've had, God, how many dogs have we had?
Help me understand a minute ago. I just asked, I was sort of insinuating that lots of the boys hang out with different girls at wrestling shows or whatever. And when I brought up Ice Train, you got very uncomfortable.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I don't remember that. I'm getting very comfortable now.
All right. Well, what was the deal? I mean, is there something you wanted to tell us about Ice Train?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I thought he was great. You didn't like him. That's all we need to know.
No. Specifically, I want the record to show that I said, fuck him. Hey, Missy, did you buy those?
Oh,
are you talking about buying the Nasty Boys?
Yeah.
Help me understand. Why would you guys shoot that sign in 1993? Did you buy that?
I don't know. Ask Craig Leathers. I don't know. I wasn't directing back then. Okay.
That was the most Eric Bischoff answer I've ever heard.
Okay. I mean, it's like you blame me for everything they do. You probably blame me and Eric Bischoff for everything they do.
I'm just trying to ask questions and create dialogue and have something to talk about. All right, Patreon. Normally you would be hearing an ad right now. We're probably selling dick pills or dick hair trimmers, but instead you guys are paying a little extra. So we're not letting you hear that commercial. And instead you're getting another song. Earlier you heard Tony say that Eminem was not going to win for next week. Well, he wins right now. Tony, you ready?
I think I am. 3, 2, 1. Shady Aftermath. There she goes, shaking that ass on the floor, bumping and grinding that pole. The way she grinded that pole, I think I'm losing control. Get buzzed, get drunk, get crunk, get fucked up, hit the strip club. Don't forget once you get your dick rubbed. Get fucked, get sucked, get wasted, shit-faced, fasted, blasted, puke, drink up, get a new drink, hit the bathroom sink, throw up, wipe your shoes clean, got a routine, knowing still I got a few chunks on your shoestrings, knowing I was dehydrated till the beat vibrated. I was revived as soon as this bitch is gyrated, and hips and licked them lips, and that was it. I had to get Nate Dogg and his sing some shit. 2 to the 1, from the 1 to the 3. I like good pussy and I like good trees. Fuck. Smoke so much weed you wouldn't believe, and I get more ass than a toilet seat. 3 to the 1 and 1 to the 3. I met a bad bitch last night in the D. Let me tell you how I made her leave with me. Conversation in Hennessy. I've been to the motherfucking mountaintop. Heard motherfucking talk, seen and dropped. If I ain't got a weapon, I'm picking up a rock, and when I bust your ass, I continue to rock. Get your ass off the wall with your 2 left feet. It's real easy just to follow the beat. Don't get that fine girl pass you by. Look real close, cause you strobe lights lie. We're about to have a party. Turn the music up. Let's get started. Go ahead, shake your butt. I'm looking for a girl with a body and a sexy strut. I want to get it popping, baby. Step right up. Some girls, they act retarded. Don't want to say that word. Some girls are about it. I'm looking for a girl that will do whatever the fuck I say every day. She be giving it up. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Oh, girl. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. I'm a menace, a dentist, an oral hygienist. Open your mouth for about 4 or 5 minutes. Take a bit of this fluoride with it. Swish it, but don't spit it. Swallow, and I'll finish. Yeah, me and Nate, D-O-double-G. Looking for a couple of bitches with some double D's. Pop a little champagne and eat and a couple of E's. Slip it in there bubbly. We're going to finally have a party. We're about to have a party. Turn the music up. Get it started. Go ahead, shake your butt. I'm looking for a girl I can fuck in my Hummer truck. apple bottom jeans, and a big old slut. Some girls, they act retarded. Some girls about it. I want a bitch that sit at the crib with no panties on. Know that she can't say no, but she won't say no. Now look at this lady all in front of me, sexy as can be. Tonight I want a slut. Will you be mine? I heard you were freaky from a friend of mine. Now I hope you don't get mad at me, but I told Nate you was a freak. He said he wants a slut. Hope you don't mind. I told him that you like it from behind. Now shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Oh, girl. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. Come on, girl. Shake that ass for me. Shake that ass for me. We're about to have a party. Turn the music up. Let's get it started. Go ahead. Shake that butt. I'm looking for a girl with a body and a sexy strut. Want to get it popping, baby? Step right up. Some girls act retarded. Some girls are about it. I'm looking for a girl that will do whatever the fuck I say. She's been giving it up. There she goes, shaking that ass on the floor, bumping and grinding that pole. The way she's grinding that pole, thinks I'm losing control. God, come on. I ain't leaving without you, bitch. You're coming home with me and my boy and his boy and his boy and his girl. Aha, Nate Dogg.
You nailed it.
Really?
Dude, that might be one of your best ones. And this Patreon exclusive.
Well, for all of our friends and fans and comrades that we love on Patreon, I hope you enjoyed that. That was rather
extra,
rough.
Hey, a little extra cheese on your tater, baby. Come on. Patreon.
Is that what we call a little extra cheese on your tater?
Well, I just made it up. A little more bacon on your biscuit. Come on. So I want to give a shout out right now and say hello to the Schiavone children who are no doubt listening.
Thank you for that. God. All right, where were we? We were into a match here.
We're talking about the Nasty Boys, and the Nasty Boys here, they probably didn't know about the crop preserver or the crop mop, but I somehow, and I have a sneaking suspicion here that Paul Roma is in the loop. By the way, can you believe that we have already sold a sponsorship for the Orange Show to Blue Chew?
Isn't it great?
I cannot wait for him to get on the microphone. It's a very nice microphone, by the way. I'm sure you'll agree.
Oh, it's top of the line.
And say, you know, Conrad, I don't know how to tell you this, but when it comes to the bedroom, I don't wear white hats. I'm not a nice guy. And I've been busting spines long before Blue Chew, but at my advanced age,
you got it all down already, don't you?
He's going to fucking murder the dick spots.
Yeah.
It's going to be so good. I don't mean to brag about my erection, Conrad, but you know, pump people will come out here and they toot their own horn about their dick and well, toot, toot.
Well,
I'm going to turn my spot, that promo, into a dick.
My dick.
Yeah. I ain't worried about your dick or JR's dick or Bruce's dick or Eric's dick. I'm worried about my dick.
Yeah.
And that's why I use the all new crop preserver.
Yeah. That's right. If somebody says you can hook up my dick to a locomotive, you can put my dick
my dick to a locomotive. Hook him up.
Hook him up.
My God. He has no idea what he signed up for here, doesn't he?
God, he's a good friend.
It's going to take him, it's going to take him a couple weeks to settle in.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
To me being, because all of our interactions have been, you know how I am in a professional setting. Yes, sir. No, sir. And then you get on here and you're like, hey, motherfucker. Ah!
Yeah. Yeah. You're something else.
He'll have fun with it.
Oh, I hope he will. I hope he will. I just got to get him into it.
You know, something I know I'm not going to be able to sell though.
Is Paul Roma's a good wrestler?
Arn Reed's rap.
Yeah. You're not gonna be able to do that. That's only my deal.
Well, Speaking of your deal,
how much more longer we got of this match? I don't want to get through a transitional period here.
this is a 38-minute match.
Is it really?
No, but it is 23. So we got plenty of time. But speaking of your deal.
Yeah.
You have a deal now.
Yeah, I do.
With AEW. And you won't let any of our listeners go 7 minutes without you talking about it and putting it over.
Right.
And it's because you're excited about it and it's changed your life. It's changed your life.
Yeah.
And, well, I feel like that, it might be time for you to tell the story using a little song from Mike Jones. He had a song back in the day called Back Then.
All right.
And I've got the instrumental pulled up here and I've emailed you over the lyrics if you want to find those.
All right.
Mike Jones, of course, we have had a lot of fun with here on the show because, it is the real name of Virgil, the character who played Virgil and Vincent. And every time you said Mike Jones, I would yell, who? Which was something he would do back in the day. And that happened, I guess, in 2005 is when Mike Jones really hit, but we brought him back to life here on the show a couple of years ago. And, now it's fitting, now that Tony's reading rap, that we're finally getting around to a Mike Jones song. So I've got the instrumental pulled up and we'll let you, do your thing whenever you think it's time.
And hit it and ready. And 3, 2, 1, play. Down with the hoes try to stand me. Back then, they want me. I'm not on the home at me. Back then, the hoes didn't want me. Now I'm on those hoes at me. I said back then, the hoes didn't want me. Now I'm on those on me. Back then, the hoes want me. Now the hoes on. I said back then, the hoes want me. Now who's on me? Tony Schiavone. Before I got back on TNT, these hoes didn't want no show, no love. They told me their balls clubbing, used to treat me like a scrub. They wouldn't holler cause my dollar wasn't swollen enough. Bet they changed my mind. They say on AEW that they see I'm a star. Now they want to sit in my car. Now they want to count my G's, smoke my weed, sit in my bar. Now they want to love me, to diss me, to rush a hug and kiss me now. Telling me all friends I leave that how they miss me now. 2-8-1-3-0-8-0-4. Hit your money up on low, cause Shawnee's about to blow. Before all these ice was my grill, before I got my major deal, these hoes wouldn't give a damn if I was here, yeah. Before they was in my grill, before I got my major deal, these hoes wouldn't give a damn if I was here, yeah. Before I got my Iceman grill, baby, if I'm a major deal, these hoes wouldn't give me a damn I was here, yeah, because back then these hoes didn't have them on. Back then those hoes want me, now I'm on AEW, hoes on me. Then they didn't want me, now we'll get a con on me. But then they didn't want me, now I'm on the TV star want me. Now the hoes want me, now I'm on the hoes on me. But then the hoes want me, now I'm on the T hoes, and the hoes want me, now I'm on TV hoes, and now I'm getting mixed up here. But now these chairs, them hoes are begging to pull me down the panties. A couple, one of them says I'm cute, but I was too chubby. Like says a size, year later, the same hoes want to fuck me because they see me paid, pimping pins, working my jelly. And I ain't tripping cause my pocket sticks out of my belly. They know I'm paid, living on the shade. 2 slabs on Escalade with 4 on the 5 estates. They know I got it made, a motherfucking baller. Since shit wasn't a slapdick now, but I ain't got no time to call her. Still, I'm gonna say she stalled me. Now she's trying to call me. Bitch, you doggy, hoe ass, other dog. Maybe I'm Tony Schiavone. Don't act like you don't know the name. Ain't nothing changed but my change. I'm staying all the same. I'm Tony Schiavone. Don't act like you don't know the name. Ain't nothing changed but my change. I'm the same. Back then, hoes didn't want me. Now I'm on TV, hoes on me. Back then, the hoes didn't want me. Now I'm on the TNT, hoes on me. Now they don't want me. I'm with the A&W hoes and they want me. With the oh God, I can't keep up with this shit, man.
Come on, we're almost there.
Back then, oh, hoes want me. Now I'm on TOs on me. Back then, one want me. Now I'm on TNT, hoes on me. Okay, that's all the lyrics I got.
No, before my paper came. Come on.
Come on. They know I'm paid, living in the shade of 2 slabs on the Escalade with 4 slabs on the estate. They know I got it made. I'm a motherfucking baller. She wouldn't want no slapdick now, but I ain't got no time to call her. Back in the hoes, they want me. Now I'm on with AEW. Back in the hoes want me. Now I'm on T, motherfucker. Now the hoes want me. Now I'm on a TV star who's on me. Phase want me. Now I'm with JR. The hoes want me. Now I'm Tony Khan. The hoes want me. I'm a part of Conrad Thompson. The hoes want me. I'm going, Mike Jones!
I love you, Tony Schiavone. How about the remixes I put in there for you?
What's that?
How about the remixes I put in there for you?
Oh, God.
Before I got back on TNT, these hoes didn't show no love. They see me in the ball club. They used to treat me like a scrub because they wouldn't holler because my dollars wasn't swollen enough. I bet they changed their mind when they see me on AEW. It's so good. And then, back then hoes didn't want me. Now I'm on TNT, hoes all on me. Back then hoes didn't want me. Now I'm with AEW, hoes all on me.
I couldn't keep up with Mike Jones, man.
Back then hoes didn't want me. Now I'm with the cons, hoes all on me. Dude, that's the most Tony Schiavone song ever.
Yes, it is.
I mean, back then WWE didn't want you. Found out AEW was interested. Now them hoes all on you.
Yeah. We got some hip hop people that follow us on Twitter.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I got to say this. I don't always, the lyrics are shocking. They're shocking for a guy in his 60s. I get that. I understand it. I know how old I am. But the flip side of that is these guys are the coolest motherfuckers in the world. They are. They're all straight up good guys.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So I have a lot of time for them. Don't always agree with it, and I've tried to even let Lois hear some of these things, and she's like,
"You're sick."
Exactly. That's exactly.
Here's what I want you to
said.
hit her with next time.
What?
You liking that direct TV bill being paid? You like heat?
Yeah.
You like air conditioning? How's that Wi-Fi working?
Yeah. I got to write this shit down. Here's a good promo shit. Promos to cut on your wife.
Well, I mean, the deal is whenever I get the whole, I wish you didn't work so much. I just hit them with, I wish you didn't swipe so much.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. A little less swiping, a little less working.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, big elbow on the lower back of Paul Roma.
Mm.
I wonder what Paul Roma thought about working with guys like the Nasty Boys.
I wonder what anybody thought about working the Nasty Boys, because the Nasty Boys, the gimmick was nasty, slobs, do anything, but they were very, very tough to work with because they were pretty stiff. So I'm sure it wasn't easy. Speaking of stiff, didn't Missy look good back then?
My goodness.
She did. You can say yes if you like. I mean, here we go. Hot tag.
I'm not anti-Missy.
Hot tag. I mean, every time I say this is a beautiful woman, you go, my God, you're a creepy old fuck. Instead of saying, yeah, she is beautiful.
Oh, no, that's not true. When you say it about Stacy Keibler, we both text people and tell them how much we hate them.
Here we go again. Not only that, when I talk to Francine,
yeah,
wow, God, is she still gorgeous? Holy smokes!
She's married, bro. Calm down.
I know she's married.
Well, her husband listens. I've given your address on this show many times. He's going to show up and beat the shit out of you eventually.
Her husband listens
every week. And you're over here jacking off to her, and I'm giving out your address. It's like, dude, he's going to beat the shit out of you.
Well, then here's a little news flash for him. Don't let your wife go to autograph signings looking like that. Say, stay home.
Oh, hang on now. Are you telling him how to handle his wife?
Well, I'm just saying, if you don't want people to say how beautiful she is, then don't let her out of the house. It's like this. All right. It's like this. You go into a mall, or you go to a shopping center, or you go to a ball game, and these beautiful women walk by you dressed immaculately and look sharp, and you glance at them. Oh, don't look at me, you old creep. Well, then don't get beautiful. Stay home. Don't get all dolled up. Don't get all dolled up and go out you don't want people to look at you or comment on how beautiful you are, don't stay home. Stay home. Eat ice cream in front of the TV. Eat potato chips. Get big and round, and let your face go. Don't put makeup on. Don't wash your hair. Don't buy these beautiful sundresses or things like that. Don't wear yoga pants.
Is this the advice you've given in your household?
No, that's what I'm just saying overall to anybody that doesn't want me to say that they're beautiful.
So if
then get out of eyesight.
So it's their fault for being attractive. It's not your fault for being a creeper.
It's their fault. No, it's yes. Are you're defending this type of stuff? Francine is a gorgeous woman, and she looks wonderful. Years later, after the ECW era is over,
you told a story about going downstairs to see her at Starrcast a little earlier, and said, "God, I wish I could have got my cock hard right then for her."
Did I say that?
You said, "I wish I had the Blue Chew."
Well, it doesn't mean I would have used it. I just wish I would have had it. It'd have been a nice photo op. Right?
Hypothetically, if Francine's husband had a podcast, he's like, "Oh man, I beat it to Lois Schiavone so hard last night." You wouldn't think that was a little weird?
I would say, "Here's her number. Call her. Get that bitch out of my house." Okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, now that you got this new AEW deal, the hoe's all on you.
Hoe's all on me,
dude. I know. You know what? With some of these ladies at these conventions, I didn't think about that. Now they think you got stroke in AEW.
Oh God.
You might have a full dance card when you're on the road here. Pick up a little road beef.
No, stop.
I'll take a classic double, hold the horsey. Then you hit one of them with, "Honey, could you get me a 0 bar? Would you run downstairs and get me a 0 bar?"
I'll have a double classic, hold the horsey. Wait a minute. Did Cassio just show up?
No, he's in.
You sounded like him right there.
I was trying to channel my inner Cassio. He was doing comedy all weekend this weekend at the Birmingham Comedy Club, the Comedy Club Stardome.
Wow, how I wish I didn't. Well, now that I don't do baseball, I could probably hang out with you guys some a little bit more.
Oh, I didn't go. I wasn't invited. Oh, I did have a great time this past week, though. I meant to tell you this. Corey Ryan Forrester and Cassio came over on Tuesday.
Corey Ryan Forrester is one of the funniest guys I know. Go ahead.
And we got down in the home theater, fired up Fall Brawl 1996, ordered some Logan's Roadhouse and had it delivered, and drank a little bit of vodka, watched old wrestling. It was a good time.
How come I didn't get invited?
It was a Tuesday.
Oh. Hey, I'm going to, when I've talked to Dave Silva,
can you believe he's moving?
I want to come give him a housewarming gift, when he moves.
We need to throw him a little party.
Yeah, we do. We really do.
So the behind the scenes, I guess we should share with everybody. Dave Silva is moving to Huntsville, Alabama.
Right.
And I think it's happening at the end of this month, very beginning of October. So in just a couple of weeks, he'll be an Alabama citizen.
Yeah. I think it's great. I think it's awesome. I think it's tremendous now, that he's going to be living this close and be able to
be a big part of everything we do.
Right. Much closer. It'll be great.
I got to tell you, this is not a bad match we're talking over here. Star and a quarter.
You're right.
Meltzer would say, Missy Hyatt, dressed like Kelly Bundy of Married with Children, came out as the new manager of the Nasty Boys, which Tony Schiavone and Jesse Ventura tried to act like it was a surprise to all the fans, even though there were visible posters everywhere regarding Missy being with the Nasty Boys. One poster read, "Hey, Missy, did you buy them?" which ruined Ventura for several minutes since he started laughing and then kept trying to do one-liners that would top the poster. After all the boob jokes, this match was long and boring. The dead crowd heard things as the Horsemen weren't as over as a team at all. So trying to get heat on them was a futile effort and made it impossible to successfully do a match this length. Arn was worked on for 8 straight minutes before Roma made the hot tag and they went to the finish. Nasty Boys got a great near fall with a bulldog off the top since they did an interview predicting they'd win with that move, which was pretty much the highlight of the match. Anderson gave Knobs the spine buster and Roma went for the pin. Sags come off the top with an elbow onto Roma as the ref was distracted and then reverse positions for the win. It's really pathetic. Everyone in this promotion spends so much time insisting that Roma is working in this position, and everything they do when it comes to the finishes gives the idea that he has no business being there. Star and a quarter. So lots of criticism on the creative decision to beat Roma. Like, if you're going to say he's the guy, make him the guy. Don't have him be the guy taking the pin every time.
Right.
Fair criticism. What say you?
Oh, that is a fair criticism. We are making him the guy, but then again, we're not making him the guy. We're making him the guy by all what we say and do, and then we have him do the job. Back then, would you agree with me that back then doing the job wasn't as big a deal as it is in today's wrestling?
Back then, doing a job was a bigger deal than it is now.
That's what I meant. Much bigger deal than it is now.
Now it doesn't matter. Like,
no, apparently it doesn't, because there's just so much TV that everybody's got to do a job.
Now, I tell you, I think that's going to change a little bit with AEW because supposedly you guys are keeping track of records, and I haven't seen the matches on TV. Every event that they've had so far, I've been there at. So I haven't seen the television presentation, but I think they're starting to like even show like the records on screen, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. You know, I think there's a lot of what we are doing that, at least from my vantage point, is not insulting the fans. And I hope that continues. Yeah. It's really hard for me to, here comes the hot tag. It's a pretty good spot, though, in this match. I mean, I know Meltzer shit on it, but if Meltzer shits on a match, it doesn't mean that's the voice of God saying, I'm right. You still with me here?
Yeah, I am. Hey, in this era, should mention at the same time that this pay-per-view is happening, Shawn Michaels quits the WWF. I think he quit on like I forget the date, but it was within a few days of this pay-per-view he quit. And a lot of people are wondering, hey, what does that mean for him? At this time, he is the Intercontinental Champion, and most would say he's the best wrestler in the WWF, and some would say he's the best wrestler in the United States. Of course, lots of people are going to argue that that accolade still belongs to Ric Flair, but it's Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels as being considered the very best wrestlers in the world at this point. Bret Hart obviously is in the conversation somewhere, but he's 28, top of his game. Did you hear when he quit? You know, like, hey, somebody needs to talk to him, or hey, has anybody reached out? I mean, is Terry Taylor pitching, hey, what if? Do you remember any of that?
Yeah, I do. There was a lot of talk in the back. Why don't we get Shawn Michaels? Why don't we go after him? And that's all I heard was talk. I wasn't involved in any of the conversation about actually getting in touch with him. Was there anything written about us trying to get him, or just
not in this issue? I mean, obviously it never really happened. I think it was always just a power struggle with Vince and Shawn, and they've always fixed it in the end.
Right. I don't think there was any actual effort in to try to get him, with the exception of just talking about it.
We should mention that, excuse me, ECW is really starting to get a lot of acclaim here in this era too. Meltzer would say the most talked about independent show in the country in several months was Todd Gordon's Eastern Championship Wrestling show on September 18th at the ECW Arena in Philadelphia. The figures reported to us were a standing room only attendance of 1,131 fans. Capacity in the building is only 960 and a $16,147 gate. We received several. Either way, it was the largest show in the company's short history and one of the wildest shows in recent memory in the U.S. We received several reports, with some calling it the best house show they'd ever seen, and others saying it was the best show they'd seen in months or even years, and some saying that the show had the same excesses, including 12 guys juicing, that led to the demise of Joel Goodhart's promotion. Still, the basic agreement was the main event, while scheduled to be a barbed wire baseball bat match between the Headhunters versus Crash the Terminator and Miguelito Perez stole the show. The sanction or the stipulation never took place. It was announced there would be a no barbed wire baseball bat stipulation due to the commission stopping the match. So they just did a regular baseball bat throughout the match, just without any barbed wire on it. But it was still allegedly a 4 1/4 star match, which is saying something. If you think about Crash the Terminator is actually going to go on to be Hugh Morris and Miguel Perez from Los Boricuas fame and the Headhunters. That's the main event, and it gets 4 stars. So pretty crazy.
Yeah. What a time, huh?
And then, you know, it's really their breakout show. First time they're getting a lot of buzz, a lot of hype, you know, Public Enemy's on there, Ian Rotten, the Dark Patriot, Terry Funk, Stan Hansen, Kevin Sullivan, Abdul the Butcher, Shane Douglas, Sandman. You know, they're doing some things.
So when was ECW born?
93 is when they would switch from, Eastern Championship Wrestling to Extreme Championship Wrestling.
And when did Paul Lee get involved in it?
That's it.
That's it right then?
Yeah. I guess it was, I think the promotion was actually founded in like 1992, but then they would switch over. Oh no, they switched over in 94. That's right.
Okay.
So it was Eastern before. You probably remember reading about it when Shane Douglas threw down the NWA world title.
Yeah, I remember that.
That's when they sort of switched it to Extreme.
Probably need to watch some of that earlier stuff, don't we?
No.
We don't? Okay.
I mean, there's some, but some of the stuff doesn't age all that great.
Okay. Well, we're doing all about Cactus Jack, a little video package here about Cactus Jack and Van Vader. But Cactus Jack is not going to face Vader here. I guess we're just talking about all the injuries he took.
Yeah. And he's going to come back and face Yoshi Kwan here. Play a little audio for the fans here.
WCW then dispatched reporter Catherine White for updates.
The famous Lost in Cleveland.
Than anticipated.
Oh, yeah.
Cactus was not at the hospital, nor was he at home. Then, based on a clue, Catherine White headed to the streets of Cleveland, where, after encountering many problems, she finally located Cactus Jack. He was living with the homeless in Cleveland and apparently suffering from amnesia.
Jack. Cactus Jack.
Why do you call me by that name? Oh, I see. Swampy. He told you my name was Jack, but I'm just a simple sailor with no name. I'm afraid Swampy's a bit adrift. Too much shore leave.
She attempted many times to jog his memory, even brought his family to Cleveland, but all attempts were futile.
I'm sorry, but I don't know you. I wish I did.
Jack, this is your son. This is your child to be. Jack, I'm your wife.
Catherine White, after that last emotional encounter, gave up. And WCW fans figured they would never see Cactus Jack again. However, something began to happen. Race admitted to taking the bag and viewed it as a symbol of the end of Cactus Jack. At the same time, Race started receiving many packages. Was it a prank or was it really Cactus Jack? No one was sure. But on August 18th, 4 months after he was carried away to a hospital, Cactus Jack made a shocking return to the ring during the Vader-Davey Boy World Title match. Vader and Race immediately put a price on his head and employed Yoshi Kwan to collect the bounty. Jack, on the other hand, had 2 things on his mind: the bag and to get back in the ring with Vader one more time. He told the world his story, from the hospital to the streets of Cleveland to the ring again.
I was walking down a street last week, a street very much like this. A man stopped me and said, "Cactus Jack, you didn't really lose your memory, did you?" And I said, "No." He said, "Cactus Jack, that wasn't really your wife on TV either, was it?" And I said, "No." "Cactus Jack, then that wasn't really your child on TV then, was it?" And I said, "No." He said, "Cactus Jack, did anyone really believe you lost your mind?" And I said, yes! You see, I know for a fact that there were two people who believed it every inch. And that's Harley Race and Vader. And they didn't believe it because they were stupid, because you don't win the world championship by being an idiot. No, they believed it because they wanted to. You see, Vader, I know what goes inside that sick head of yours. You're like a big game hunter, yeah. And look on your wall. You got the ribs of Sting, the shoulder of Ron Simmons, the back of Joe Thurman, and the neck of Nikita Koloff. But something was missing, wasn't it? Yeah. Somewhere over that fireplace in that home of yours, there was that space for that Saskatchewan moose. You said, bring me the head of Cactus Jack! But you can't have it, Vader. You can't have it. Yes, you put me on the shelf for a while, but all that did was earn me valuable time. Time for thoughts of you to brew like a bag of tea and a sea of hatred. And this is no sipping tea, Vader. It's brutality. And for you, it's a heavy dose of reality. Because when Cactus Jack comes back, keep this in mind, he's coming with bad intentions. And if they can arrest the man for the thoughts that go through his mind, then bring out the rope and hang me here. Because, Vader, I got some sick thoughts, and every one of them, sir, centers around you. You tried to change my world, now we reverse roles. It's my time. And you're going to find out that a day in the life of Cactus Jack is worse than any specter, ghoul, or ghost you could have imagined. I'm coming for you. Bang, 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 bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following...
What a fucking package, man. I know people have been critical of that angle, but that little recap video, that made it cool.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why were they... a couple of interesting things in that video. The little boy that was brought to Cactus to try to jog his memory.
Yeah.
Tim Schiavone.
How about that? That explains a lot.
Yeah. And by the way, oddly enough, Tim Schiavone, little plug here, is opening up Best End Brew Pub coming up this week on the west end of Atlanta.
What's it called?
Best End, B-E-S-T-E-N-D, Best End. Like it's on the west end, but it's the best end.
Yep.
Right along the Beltline in Atlanta. He's opened up his brew pub. He's been working on this. God, he's been working on this for a decade. So, and it's funny that now he was in that Vader thing and that Cactus Jack package. There he was, the kid. Now he's 31, opening up a brew pub. And it was funny that you would see Cactus Jack do the promo in front of the Smashing Pumpkins posters.
So
did you notice that?
I did. Yeah. I saw that. It was just fitting because we were just talking about them, the NWA, a little while ago.
Right.
1036 White Street in Atlanta, Best End Brewing Company. Go see all the Schiavones down there.
Yeah.
Dude, I just saw the building with the graffiti at the bottom and then the top, Best End Brewing, entrance, eat locally, drink globally. Dude, the photos they've uploaded of the food look legit, man.
Oh yeah. They've got a lot of good investors, and he's the master brewer, and he's in charge of all the beers. So, and he's he is tremendous at brewing beer.
Dude, I mean, the food looks next level.
Yeah. And I should know he's a good beer brewer because he spent many years at this house below the deck brewing beer.
Oh my gosh. I just saw a picture of him, holding up some barley on one of these images. Man, this thing looks badass. I'm excited to go check this out.
Yeah, we'll have to have you come over and be a part of it.
Hypothetically, will it be open later this week when I'm over?
Yes, it will be.
Well, we need to check that out. Go support it.
We need to go that night. That'll be opening night, I think.
Hey, let me ask. I'm gonna be that guy right now.
All right.
You reckon he's got any Miller Lite in there?
I doubt it. Okay. Hey, does anybody know who Yoshi Kwan really is? That would be Chris Champion of the great tag team that I can't remember their name right now, but they were a sensational tag team, and they
the New Breed. Is what you're thinking of.
Breed. Thank you very much. And then they were in a horrible traffic crash in South Carolina during the Crockett era and never rebounded from that. But when the New Breed first arrived on the scene, they were spectacular. They were inventive. They did things no other team would do. I think they were way ahead of their time.
Why don't you think he made it as Yoshi Kwan?
I don't.
Was there, allegedly there was a knee injury. He was supposed to wrestle Yoshi Kwan or Ricky Steamboat at Halloween Havoc, but he hurt his knee.
Yep. Blew his knee out.
It's quite the presentation though. I mean, he has a cool look.
Chris Stewart, man, I like those kids a lot. I liked them a lot. Go back and watch some of the old, and their debut on WCW Saturday night, or it was called World Championship Wrestling back then. Watch their debut and watch how they just could do things. And then the wreck that they had, I think if I'm right, I don't know the particulars, but the word was that their wreck was so bad that they both went launching through the windshield of their car and were fortunate not to be killed in a horrible wreck in South Carolina.
I don't know that me and you talked about this, but he died last year.
Chris did?
Yeah. 57 years old, August 22nd. He was stroke victim. I guess he had a few different strokes, on his sort of dying days, last days, but he was, in rough shape there, life support for the better part of a week before we lost him. Not an old man though. I mean, born in 61.
That is terrible. That's terrible news, because I really liked him a lot. I really did. I thought he had potential to. He did.
What's Shawn Royal doing now?
What's that? Shawn Royal?
Yeah, his tag team partner.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you know what Shawn Royal's doing, tweet us at the show at WHW Monday. We'd like to catch up and see what he's up to these days.
The new breed gimmick, they use all the talk from all the verbiage from Back to the Future. And, right. I loved it. Absolutely loved it.
By the way, Cactus Jack, one of my low-key absolute favorites. I've started to really come around on some things. I think so many wrestling fans, myself included, we've parroted the same thing for so long, and we haven't really, or I don't think I had really taken into consideration everything before making some decisions about, and there's your finish, double arm DDT, Yoshi Kwan's out of here, Cactus gets the win. It's not a long match either. I think we're 3.5 minutes. He's going to bring Vader in. Harley Race in over the top rope.
Well, they're setting up, spin the wheel, make the deal for Halloween Havoc.
That's exactly right. It's going to be your main event. Anyway, I think legitimately, I'm not saying this to be funny. I think Mick Foley's in my top 10 all time.
Really?
Just because I enjoyed so much of his stuff as Cactus Jack. I enjoyed the FMW stuff. I enjoyed the ECW stuff. Most of all, I enjoyed the WCW stuff. And then the Mankind character he pulled off so fucking well. And then he did the silliness with Dude Love. And then just the whole Mick Foley run. When you just think about how versatile he's been, he's doing the comedy stuff. He's writing books, and I just think he's top 10. Like, as far as overall performers in wrestling, he's a lot like Bobby Heenan, in that Bobby Heenan wore a lot of hats in wrestling and he excelled at all of them.
Right. Well, there's a lot of different categories you can group wrestlers in. If you talk about top 10 most versatile, most talented guys, yeah, Cactus Jack's in those because of all that you were talking about just now. So many things that he could do.
Like Vader, for instance. We love Vader, but Vader was sort of one dimensional.
Right. He couldn't write a book.
You're going to get one. I just mean, like, he's going to come in and like Cactus Jack could be the crazy maniac. He could be the crazy deranged murderer maniac, but he could also be a very sympathetic baby face. And all right, here we go. We got a little promo action here from Rick Rude on the set of Flair for the Gold.
Look at this.
Lays a big kiss on Flair's wife.
Whoa.
Wendy. Fifi, the French maid.
Oh my God. Look at her. She looks mean.
She is.
Whoa, man, slapped him. She is mean. Slapped him in the face. Rick saying, look, she's running my life. Whoa.
Behind the belt.
I don't think he said that, but he could have said it the way he was looked and turned to us.
Here's what Flair's saying.
Your answer. Sorry. Hey, next week. You okay, baby? You got to understand things like that happen. Next week, we go again. I'll Flair for you. Okay, honey? Huh? You all right? Next week, we go again.
Look at this. The Nature Boy Ric Flair getting submarined by ravishing Rick Rude. Spins him around. Wham! Rude awakening. And that's how you get a title shot, Tony.
You're a gold digger, and Flair has a belt.
So there you go. Rude tries to plant the Rude Awakening kiss on Fifi. She wants nothing to do with it. Slaps the face of Rick Rude. Flair says, well, there's your answer, pal. And as he's trying to console her, bam, he gets nailed from behind with the big gold belt. Rude cuts a promo. You're a gold digger. And here we go. Our world title match, not our NWA world title match, but our world title match nonetheless.
It's way too long, huh? Already.
What?
Wait a minute. Was that what Ole said or what Meltzer said here? Way too long.
30 minutes, 47 seconds. He says, Flair came out with Fifi, real name Wendy Barlow. The funniest Fifi story came a few days before the match when they were doing satellite transmission to hype the card, with Flair being interviewed by several TV sportscasters from around the country. The satellite was already on with Flair and Fifi, who's never been put in this position before, asked Rick what happens if someone wants her to say something in French or wants her to speak in French. Anyway, Rick pretty much said he'd cover for her. It was never a factor. However, in the second interview, Rick did the entire interview talking about what Rick Rude did to Wendy. Rude is nowhere near the wrestler he was during the first half of 92. The disc injury from late last year is either much worse than anyone is letting on, because Rick used to be a bump machine and he doesn't bump hardly at all anymore. Or Rude simply doesn't care about having good matches anymore. Given that Rude doesn't bump and he's a heel, and nearly every match he's had on a big show of any length over the last year has been awful, even with a legendary guy who can carry anyone. Who decided for this to go 31 minutes? The first half of this match was terrible. Flair had never been in a match this bad on pay-per-view, except for the one he had with Sting where he played the Black Scorpion. This match picked up from there and ended up with all of its drawbacks, still being easily the best match on the show, which is only faint praise. The last 9 minutes were very good, but not great, but the damage had already been done. Rude went for a pin after the fist drop, but Flair kicked out. Rude then went after Fifi. Fifi slapped him. Rude then started kissing Fifi and she struggled. Flair came back, goes wild, puts Rude in the figure 4. And with the ref attending to Fifi, Rude pulls out a gimmick, hits Flair with it and gets the pin. 2 3/4 stars. And there you go. Flair in the ring now with his most beautiful robe ever. Would you disagree?
No, I would not.
I mean, under the lights, it's just nonstop sequins, and it feels like, you've got a real robe in one corner. And then like, I don't know, like the great value robe in the other corner with Rick Rude here.
I wonder if this is the match where there was a match where Rude, accidentally blew a big ball of snot on his mustache. As he's breathing heavy. Then he turns and he kisses Wendy with that ball of snot on his mustache.
I think that was Halloween Havoc. I could be wrong.
Okay. All right. I remember thinking,
because that's the one where he had her painted on the face, or her face on the pants.
Okay.
I might be wrong on that.
Okay. We'll see. When you talk about a match is good or bad or too long, or you criticize a match, and I get it. Everybody has their favorites. Everybody has their idea of what they like in a match and what they don't like in a match. First of all, a match, I don't believe, can be a 5-star from beginning to end. There's peaks and valleys in matches. But if you come out of the match thinking, hey, that was pretty good, then what the fuck? Maybe he doesn't bump like he used to bump, but still, if you come out of the match saying, hey, I enjoyed that match.
Let's see what Rude says here.
Thing to say to you, boy. Tonight, when I leave this arena, not only am I going to have your reputation, not only am I going to have your world title belt, but Ric Flair, I'm going to have your woman. Oh, my. Whoa.
And he reveals the tights, and it's got Fifi, the French maid, over the front of his crotchal area, as Bruce would say. And by the way, she's not dressed like a French maid here.
No, she's stepping out. A French maid would only dress as a French maid if she's had a flair for the gold and working for him. But now she's stepping out.
The big gold belt on the line here.
I'm sure later that night she'd been stepping in.
No, at this point, I think she was married and Rick was married. So there's no way that Rick would.
Yeah.
Well, never
sorry.
mind.
No way Rick would tap that if he knew she was married and he was married. What was I thinking? Sorry.
JR had a great call at a live show years ago. He said, Rick's wife was married, but he was single. I don't know why that tickled me, but it did.
It tickles me right now. God, Rude looked great, didn't he? Jesus. He looked exactly the way you wanted a wrestler to look.
How do you want him to look? Like this?
Like Rick Rude. There's Wendy.
Fifi is her name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Fifi.
She'll answer to that in public if you call her that now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh. That's good to know. So Rude was in the middle of, Rude had some degenerative back issues here, right? At this time.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with Sting is going to be the end.
Right.
By the way, in the news and notes of the Observer, Meltzer would report that a Missy Hyatt calendar would be released for the Christmas season. Did you pick that one up?
Did not.
Huh.
Never saw it. There was. All right, let me tell you about my life in the 90s here.
Okay, can't wait.
Okay. I was very much into my kids back then. We'd go to Disney every year. I was a baseball coach, and I very much attempted to, because I traveled a lot. I attempted to be a good father and be very attentive to the kids. So when the matches were over, or I didn't have any work to do, I went home and paid attention to my family. I didn't read dirt sheets. I didn't know of anything that was going on in WCW, because that was not the focus of what I was doing. And now, as I stand in 2019, there's a lot of what I did back then, or how I conducted my business back then, that I regret. But there's a lot that I don't regret, because I knew I was a good father. There were a lot of people, a lot of guys in the business who traveled probably a lot more than I did, who probably would say they weren't a good father and they weren't there for the children. You can never say that about me. And so that I don't regret. But the fact that I was not in tune with the business, in other words, I didn't know what was going on in the WWE. I didn't know what was going on in the ECW, or the formation of ECW, or I didn't know about Missy's calendar, or I didn't know what merchandise we had. It's probably the wrong thing I should have done, which I will not make the mistake again, because it's just me and Lois. And not worrying about going to a baseball practice or going to see a kid.
Hang on. Is there something you need to tell us?
No.
Well, you just said, now it's just me and Lois. I'm going to devote my life. You got some big plans? Are you going to get on that first show on TNT and throw the microphone down?
You can talk all you want to about that faux pas, but I'm going to edit it out, motherfucker.
By the way, the last line in this issue of the Observer, Ole Anderson really isn't much a part of the key decision-making process. Eric Bischoff has the ultimate power, although Dusty Rhodes is thought by the wrestlers as still being the most influential, since most believe at this point, Dustin is going to wind up being the person to unify both world titles.
Wow. Wow. Wrong about that.
You talking about the way you handled your business back then and the way you handle it now. And, there's so many guys who were obsessed back then and never stopped being obsessed, whereas you weren't, and now you're trying to get back in. But you're in a prime time spot, one of the most lucrative jobs in professional wrestling belongs to Tony Schiavone now. And when I think about that, I think about all the people who might not be happy about that. Some of the people who were your friends and some of the people who were your haters. It's one of those deals where, you know, you want your friends to do well, just maybe not better than you. And that makes me think of, our next Tony Reed's rap song today, Many Men. This is going to be a slightly remixed version for Noah Anthony Schiavone, but I've got the instrumental keyed up. If you've got the lyrics on your side, I think I emailed those over.
Yeah, you did. And first of all, I'd like to say people who hate me are people who don't know me. And I hate anybody use the word hate. I like people to say, I just didn't like his commentary, or I didn't like him as an announcer. I hate to say I hated him. I mean, Pro Wrestling Illustrated and Stu Stacks and all those guys used to use the word Schiavone haters. And I think that's a terrible thing to say. You don't know me. Oh, and by the way, Stu, fuck you. So anyway, this is called Many Men.
Yeah, Many Men. I'll go ahead and drop that funky beat for you if you got your lyrics.
I got it queued up. Can I give you a countdown for it?
Sure.
So I can be right on time. Let's do Many Men in 3, 2, 1. Man, so we're getting something to eat, man. I'm hungry as a motherfucker. Hey, yo, man. Damn, what you talking, homie, so long, son? Conrad, calm down. Here we come. What the fuck? Son, pull up. Pull up. Many, my marks wish death upon me. Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. And Mark's trying to take my life away, but I put a phone of smart marks for thee. I'm back on the wall now. You're going to see. Better watch how you talk when you talk about me, because I'll come and take your life away. Many marks. Many, 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 many marks wish death upon me. Lord, I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Now these 3 marks are putting money on my head. Go on and get your refund, motherfucker. I ain't dead. I'm in the diamond in the dirt and I ain't been found. I'm in the underground king and I ain't been crowned. When I rhyme, something special happen every time. There's something like Ali in his prime. I walk the block with the bundles and I've been knocked in the humble. Swinging the ox when I rumble. Show you ass when the gun do. Got a temper, Mark, go ahead. Lose your head. Turn your back on me. Get clapped and lose your legs. I walk around with a gun on waist and chip my shoulder. I bust a clip in your face. Pussy, this beef ain't over. Many marks. Many, 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 many marks wish death upon me. Lord, I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Mercy on my soul. Somewhere my heart turns cold. Have mercy on many marks. Many, 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 many marks wish death upon me. The sunny days wouldn't be special if it wasn't for rain. Joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. Death gotta go be easy cause life is hard. I'll leave you physically, mentally, and emotionally scarred. This for the slapdicks on the block, twisting trees and cigars for the slapdicks on lock, doing life behind bars. I don't see, only God can judge me cause I can't think clear. Things and crackers give me a black ass 100 years like I'm Paulie and Goodfellas. You can call me the Don, like Malcolm in many means with my gun in my palm. Slim switch sides on me, let marks ride on me. Thought I was cool, but why you want to die, homie? Many, many marks. Many, 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 many marks wish death upon me. Lord, I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Mercy on my soul. Somewhere in my heart turn cold. Have mercy, many marks. Many, 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 many marks wish death upon me. night I talk to God, but he don't say nothing back. I know he's protecting me, but I still have to say with my cat. I mean, in my nightmares, I keep pulling the Texum on me. Psych says some bitch dumpling put a hex on me. The feds didn't know much when Brody got stabbed. I got a kite from the penis that he told me. I say penis. Blackjack got knocked. I ain't going to spell it out for you motherfuckers all the time. Are you illiterate, Mark? You can't read between the lines till the Bible says what goes around comes around. Almost shot me. 3 weeks later, he got shot down. Now it's clear that I'm here for a real reason. Because I got hit like I got hit, but he ain't fucking breathing. Many marks. Many, 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 many marks. Wish death upon me, Lord, I don't cry no more. Don't look to the sky no more. Have mercy on me. Have mercy on my soul. Somewhere my heart turned cold. Have mercy on many, many, many marks. Many, 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 many marks. Wish death upon me. Wish death upon me.
I think you're getting your stride on Tony Reed's rap.
You know what? That's a good fucking song.
Between back then, Many Men, Tupac hit 'em up. I think we're playing the hits, baby.
Man, that I got to give 50 Cent, man. And did he write that too?
Yeah.
Okay. He writes his own shit. Okay, good. That's good stuff, buddy. I mean, that's got a very dark tone to it, right? I mean, shooting and killing and all that, but that's a good song.
So, next week, Afro Man, Because I Got High. You excited about that one?
I guess. Is it mumble rap?
Well, you were mumble rapping the shit out of back then.
Well, it's because I'm a white guy.
And you censored your own self on the word pussy earlier too, which I was a little shocked by.
Okay.
You scared of pussy?
Well, no, I just you try to keep up with the beat, and then you kind of get behind. You just run shit together. I don't think
nobody expects you to keep up with the beat, buddy. That's why we're doing it.
Okay. Well, there you go.
There's not an expectation this is actually going to be any good.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about the rap?
Yeah. We don't expect that you're going to be any good at this. we sort of revel in the fact that you're not going to be.
I just, let's hear for 50 Cent. 50 Cent. Good shit, man.
I like you corrected your enunciation there.
Yeah.
By the way, this is a long ass match.
This is a long ass match. And as we know, this is a shitty show.
We should mention that the main event is the one with the Shockmaster.
Good God.
Yes. That Shockmaster. Pretty excited about this too. Just because he's in it. It's going to go 16 minutes.
16 minutes is not much for a War Games.
Right? Meltzer would say, there were a few decent spots, but it was mainly standing around and easily the worst War Games ever. Horrible camera work didn't help. The finish epitomized the entire show. Shockmaster grabbed Cole in a bear hug. Cole was right there looking at it and waiting for someone to stop him from making the save. Sorry, Kane was. It appeared that was Smith's job, but he wasn't there. So Kane just looked like a guy who knew he was in a bad position and had no idea what to do, and looked and looked and looked and looked until Smith finally grabbed him. Star and a half. Of course, Cole and Kane are, what would go on to be Booker T and Stevie Ray.
Right.
So, yeah. World heavyweight title is what we're calling this match right now. Famously, the whole NWA shenanigans were a real issue. You guys weren't drawing a ton at the house shows in this era too, but house shows look like this: Brad Armstrong versus Tommy Angel, Rick Steamboat versus Lord Steven Regal, Eaton and Knobs over Anderson and Roma, Davey Boy and Sid Vicious, Dustin and Sting versus Rick Rude and the Equalizer, and then Flair and Orndorff for the title.
Yeah. The
NWA did run some shows, we should mention. They tried to run a show in Charlotte, believe it or not, at the end of August, just 2 weeks after WCW ran it. They had Buddy Shane on the card, Brad Anderson, Susan Green, Judy Martin, Jay Eagle, Wahoo McDaniel, and Manny Fernandez. So Wahoo and Manny on top in Charlotte, you would think, okay, I could see it. It drew 135 fans.
Yeah.
Well, what do you think? What a sad state of affairs when Wahoo McDaniel, a fucking legend in wrestling, booked, in the twilight of his career in a main event on top, 135 fans in Charlotte.
No issue. No angle. Nothing on TV to make you want to see it. That's the whole rub there. See, I always thought, and this kind of surprised me, I guess. When I came back to WCW in 1990, I was still very much I thought in my mind, an old school guy, that I thought house shows were important. I thought TV shows were, as they were back then, TV shows were nothing but a commercial vehicle to get you to come to the show, to a house show, and that's where you drew your money. And we would go into these long meetings with Jim Hurd and Jim Barnett. I've told you many stories about Ole being in there and everything. And they would have Jody Hamilton in there, and a lot of times Kevin Sullivan was in there too. And they would give them all the house shows. They say, you guys book the house shows. And they would book the house shows, and they would write up the house shows, and they would pass them around, and everybody would look at them. Everybody would say, great job, Jody, great job. Because no one gave a shit about the house shows. No one gave a shit about it. And I always thought the guy who books TV should book the fucking house shows. Now, as a house show booker like Jody, you knew what the TV angles were. I understand. But I always thought that should come from one place. And that showed me when I came back that no one gave a fuck about house shows. That was the last thing on their mind. And I never thought that was right. And therefore, when you say house show business was not good back then, no one gave a fuck about house show business back then. And no one gives a fuck about it now, do they?
No.
I mean, really. WWE, they run house shows, but that's not the focus of what they do. SmackDown and Raw.
I do want to mention something that happened a couple weeks prior to this show. Shane Douglas did an interview with a newspaper in Pennsylvania. He's talking about his new career as a teacher, and he's being critical of Eric Watts and Dustin Rhodes being in the spot they're in because of their dads, and critical of WCW bringing back Ric Flair. It's also claimed in this story that the TBS board of directors voted to shut down the company if the ratings didn't improve by November, which Meltzer would say isn't true. Quote, although there apparently have been some people on the board who have wanted to drop the company at various times. Do you remember ever hearing that, hey, if we don't get our shit up by November, we're going to get shut down?
Yep.
So whether it's true or not,
we heard that a lot. And this is the time that rumor was floating around a lot. And this is the time that Ted Turner came to the Omni and met with everybody and assured us that we wouldn't be shut down. And it was the very famous meeting where Leon says, it's so exciting to meet you. Could I have your autograph? And everybody went, oh, what the fuck? Because he sounded like a little whipped puppy talking to Ted Turner. But I think because of those rumors were floating around, that's why Ted came and visited with us. And I remember Ric Flair out of it says, well, it's going to make for a great Christmas now. And Ted said during that meeting, he said, there's been a lot of talk about us shutting WCW down. He said, we're not going to shut WCW down. He said, hell, CNN lost money for 10 years. And now it's doing well for us. So that was the boss saying at that time that we weren't going anywhere. And that also, thinking about that, what I remember in my mind, once he was out of the powers, once he was no longer in power with Turner Broadcasting, I knew it was only a matter of time.
We should mention CNN started June 1st, 1980. So he would have only been a handful of years into profitability if that 10-year statement is true.
If, I don't know if that was just a line or what, but that's what he said. He said we lost money for 10 years.
I know this is a weird thing to say, but a lot of people say that the coverage of the Gulf War is really what sort of put CNN on the map, which would have been what, 2 years prior to this?
Yeah. 91.
Yeah.
Yep.
The other thing that would come out in the newsletter here from this interview with Shane Douglas, quote, he also claimed he'd seen a lot of drugs in the locker rooms and talked about homosexuality among wrestlers without going into specifics, and said he'd never leave teaching again to wrestle, but would wrestle part-time for ECW.
Huh. Why would he talk about the business like that? I mean, I like Shane, but Jesus Christ. I just don't get it.
Which part don't you get?
You just, as it's going on now, we go back and we talk about shit that we've seen now as it relates to what happened 20, 25 years, 30 years ago. But as it's going on why do you shit on the business like that? Oh yeah, I saw drugs. Yeah, I saw homosexuality. I saw this shit. Bullshit you did.
Here's the thing though, like, what a weird sentence that is in 2019. I saw homosexuality.
Yeah, it is.
What? Yeah. You mean you're awake? You mean you're alive? You mean you can see, hear? What does it matter? That's just a weird statement now. I mean, I know it's a different time. I saw somebody tweeted the other day, I wish Conrad would quit saying it's a different time. But fuck, it was. Like, I just watched, my wife had never seen Eastbound and Down, I can't believe that's a real thing, but she had never seen the Kenny Powers character. So I showed her some, and there's like the whole, Don Johnson scene where he, gets reunited with his dad, and Don Johnson drops the F-bomb right away, like to start the episode. And it's like, whoa. I mean, that show's 10 years old, and it's like, oh, I don't remember that. But it's, so it's just, we've evolved as people, baby.
Yes, we have. And to say that you're tired of hearing someone say it's a different time, then you need to realize that time moves on, that things change. In other words, my response to you saying that Conrad is sick and tired of Conrad saying it's a different time, my response to you would be, get fucking with it. It is. Well, I know it's a different time.
I think his point was, people were offended when those things happened back then, and we don't need to apologize for it. We need to be offended now for what was happening back then. And I get that. I understand it. I'm not in a position to judge how someone else, felt about all that, because, that's not my circumstance.
Right.
But I can say that it was, I don't know, more socially acceptable, but it was more prevalent, and now it's less. And I'm glad that it's less. I don't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. I want everybody to enjoy our show and everything we do.
Right. Because I see this as when people ask me to describe our podcast, I say it's just two friends loving wrestling, watching wrestling together.
Busting each other's balls. Ripping on things. I mean, we rip on Ric Flair all the time. Yeah. And
because he fucking deserves it.
One of your lifelong good friends and my father-in-law, and we shit on him, and we shit on my brother-in-law, and we shit on Dave Silva and Bruce Pritchard and all of our friends. It's what guys do.
Right.
Well, it's what we do.
Yeah, it's what we do. I mean, listen, part of growing up in the Schiavone household was always busting each other's chops, as we said, or busting each other's balls.
And eating donkey dicks.
And yes, that too. And so then when I got to know you, when I first met you, I was thinking, man, we've been in the minor leagues busting balls.
Well, here's the deal. I have grown up in sales, so from the time I was 14 years old, I was involved in sales. And when you have a sales organization and it becomes a bunch of rough and rowdy, 20s and 30s and early 40s dudes who are all getting told no 19,000 times a day, just digging through for those 8 yeses. And you got to keep positive. You develop a really, really thick skin to know, or people hanging up the phone, or, just rudeness in general. So it's just no big deal. So you find ways to entertain yourself. And the way to entertain yourself is, you can't be mean to the customer. You're just mean to your coworkers and it becomes fun.
Right.
Like, there was a guy at the office, who we nicknamed Baby Nuts.
Okay.
May or may not be my cousin, but my cousin, Baby Nuts.
Did that have anything to do with the size of his nuts?
Well, here's the deal. Here's the reason it came about.
Yeah.
He was describing his penis one day and he said, "It's little, but it's mean," which I think was one of the greatest descriptions I've ever seen or heard. I mean, that's the most Schiavone phrase I've ever heard. And you didn't even say it. It's little, but it's mean.
I like that. Well, we have a good time on this show. We hope you do. People are not going to like everything we say, everything we do. I get it. When our AEW show debuts, a lot of people are going to say, "God, I didn't like that guy." And a lot of people will say, "Hey, I miss that guy." But, never say that you hate something, because there's enough hate in the world. There is. I hate to be that way, but there is enough hate in the world. You tune in CNN, you tune in Fox News, and it's just, this person hates this person, hate. Stop it. You can dislike something, don't hate it. Okay? That's my line for being a parent here today. Lighten up. Lighten up. I'll tell you why. I know you're going to lighten up. Life is short. Once you get to my age, you realize how short it is. That's the secret of life that no one finds, that no one realizes until they get to my age.
It's little, but it's mean. So anyway, I decided to name him Baby Nuts because I thought Baby Dick would be too offensive.
Baby Nuts.
Hey, Meltzer would write, some of the new B team wrestlers are being brought in for $150 per show. Wow. And they have to do all their own driving, including the ring crew having to drive from Atlanta to Indiana for the shots a few weeks ago. For the main guys, the long drives are said to be 450 miles each way. So you drive 900 miles and you make $150.
And you're paying your own expenses, old school style.
Yep. At the
that was wrong.
Beginning of the month, Sid Vicious walked out of the September 1st Dothan, Alabama TV taping, but it looks like eventually you guys would work it out. Quote, Vicious, according to several on-site sources, refused to take a drug test and said he'd take it in a few weeks. Apparently he was told that he'd put it off long enough and he didn't take it then, he'd be fired. And before being fired, he just walked out. If it hadn't been rectified, it would have been a disaster, since Vicious was all over the pre-tape TV and scheduled for the main event for the next 2 pay-per-view shows, War Games and a singles main event against Sting at Halloween Havoc, that had already been printed with ad slicks sent to all the cable television. So how about that? No, I'm not taking the drug test. I'll take it in a few weeks. What's the sense of having a drug test to cost if you're not going to fire him right then?
Right. Exactly.
I'm asking, why didn't you just fire him right then?
Well, I wasn't hiring and firing. They should have fired him right then. They should have said, thank you. I can't comment on drug testing because I know it's done, but I never did.
Did you ever have to be in a cup?
No, I never had to. And I never did take drugs except legal prescription drugs.
Oh, that's not true. You got high as a motherfucker in Las Vegas this year.
Okay, but during my run at WCW, I never took drugs.
It was legal, by the way, when you did it in Las Vegas.
Right. It may have been legal in Las Vegas, but had you peed in the cup? I mean, you know, a guy could go to Las Vegas on NFL team, NBA team, or she slapped him right in the old kisser. Ooh. Watch out. Holy shit. But anyway, no, I never did take drugs, never did pee in a cup, and I never did. I would like to see back in the day how they did drug testing.
Well, they probably had him take his penis out of his pants and then pee into a cup.
I understand how they physically did it. I didn't buy drug testing back then. I thought it was all a sham. I did. I thought it was all a PR stunt.
So there you go. Here come the brass knuckles. Oh, got him. He stuffs them back on his dick hole. Now he's going to cover him up.
Back on his dick hole.
2, 3, new world heavyweight champion. The big gold belt is going around the tiny waist of ravishing Rick Rude. And there's Fifi there to kiss and make it better.
Yeah, boy. I think that, for not the greatest Flair match ever,
it wasn't as bad as he made it out to be, but
no, it was not. I thought it was a pretty damn good finish.
Let's talk about Shockmaster as we get ready for our main event here. Meltzer would say after the debut where he, busted his ass or whatever. They're changing the Shockmaster character to Klutz Uncle Fred. They replayed his Clash entrance over and over, and then must have aired an interview or something with him unmasking. On the September 18th show, the main is Flair and Rhodes versus Rude and Sid, ending with Rude and Flair in a figure 4 and the Harlem Heat interfere. Sting and Big Fred make the save, but Fred trips over the guardrail and wipes himself out and the guardrail before he could actually make the save. During the show, several kids were kicked out of the taping because Fred was in the audience and they began chanting Shockmaster at him. The middle section in front of the cameras was blocked off again for models and suits as part of the no black kids in front of the camera idea. My goodness. Did you ever hear about a sort of low key, maybe not spoken about, unspoken rule, no black kids in front of the camera rule?
That's bullshit.
I never heard of that. In fact, when Vader got beat by Ron Simmons, that kid's like losing his mind in the front row, right in front of everybody. That's weird.
Ooh. This is what Meltzer wrote this?
Yeah. I'd never read that before.
That's bullshit. If Eric Bischoff is truly running the company now, like he said, there's no way that Bischoff would.
Oh yeah. I agree totally. That's not a Bischoff move for sure.
Yeah.
By the way, Eric Bischoff received a promotion based on the Clash rating to senior vice president. David Crockett was also promoted to executive in charge of all television production.
Doug Dellinger getting rid of the punks behind us. Good job, Doug.
Also should mention that, quote, Sabu received word from WCW they weren't going to bring him in. Let me get this right. Charlie Norris, Thunder and Lightning, Harlem Heat all passed their tryouts and Sabu failed his.
I think there was a concern that Sabu was a little bit too over the top for us.
Might get some lawsuits with fans or whatever.
Might get some lawsuits with fans, or maybe what we wanted him to do was not what he wanted to do, and it wouldn't be a good working relationship.
The August 18th Clash of the Champions, where famously the Shockmaster gimmick happened, got a 3.8 rating, viewed in 2.32 million homes, quote, which caused a major league party at the WCW offices on Friday. It's the largest audience to watch any pro wrestling TV show in the U.S. in 1993. More people saw the Vader Davey Boy Smith on first run than any U.S. match since November 92, when the WWF had a special. It's the highest rated clash since November of 91. So some good news here amidst all the bad.
I don't remember a party. I guess that's a figure of speech. If there was a party, I wasn't there for it. I was probably with my kids.
We should also mention that the month prior to this, in August, is when they had the whole situation with Terry Gordy. It would be written, the 32-year-old Gordy, who had been an international main eventer since his teens, apparently passed out before his arrival at the airport in Japan for the All Japan Tour, 2 days before the tour started on August 20th. It was announced on the tour's first night at Korakuen Hall that Gordy was hospitalized, but no other details were given at the show. The situation was apparently somewhat serious, and that Richard Slinger, Gordon's nephew and frequent partner in six-man tags, also missed the early part of the tour, and that reportedly Gordy was still hospitalized as of Tuesday. Promoter Giant Baba told reporters after the show that Gordy wouldn't be appearing on the biggest show of the tour, September 3rd at Budokan Hall, in which he was scheduled to challenge Misawa for the Triple Crown in the main event. Baba announced a match on July 31st between Dr. Death and Kenta Kobashi, with the winner getting the title shot. And that, of course, is the famous overdose situation where Gordy was never the same again.
Yeah. What a business. Really. And you know what's good about the business now?
What's good about the business now, buddy?
I'm getting in AEW mode again. Is that it's not like that anymore. Right? I think I'm seeing that, and I'm not saying anything about Terry Gordy or his ego, but or let's talk about Sid Vicious and his ego. Massive egos are kind of in check now in the business. I really think so. There's more a feeling of a team now than there used to be. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, but I get maybe it's because I've been away for so long. I don't know, but I just get a feeling the business has changed. The business has obviously changed from what you see now on TV screen. It's a different type of product in many ways, but it's also changed behind the scenes as well. And, for the better.
Do you remember recutting, spots for this show? Like promos, because, originally Road Warrior Hawk was supposed to be in this main event, and he's going to be replaced, of course, by the Shockmaster.
Right. No, I don't remember.
Well, you had to recut him, you motherfucker.
My voice?
Your voice out of your mouth hole.
You sure?
Well, that's what Dave said, but you're probably right. You remember everything from back then. So
no. The reason I say that is that we had voiceover guys cut spots for us. And that's why I question that. I cut a lot of radio spots for us. I remember back then, but as far as voiceover TV spots, I just, we had voiceover guys, so I didn't do them all. All right, here we go. Animal. Dustin
carrying that United States Championship with him. British Bulldog. I love that cape.
I do too.
I wish I knew where that one was. That'd be a cool collectible to have. And there he is, the Shockmaster, no longer with the helmet and the gimmick, just the hard hat. And there's Sting. Like, can you believe this? What a cool team that would have been, though. You know, Dustin Rhodes, Sting, and the Road Warriors. You don't think?
You think the Shockmaster
was not as cool as Hawk? Yeah, that's what I think.
No. Okay, I see what you're saying. You're saying that Big Fred was the big turd in all this.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, you know, like
he doesn't belong there.
I like Animal, but you know what I like better than Animal? The Road Warriors.
Right. I get it.
I want to mention this to you because this fascinated me in my research. Awful lot of discussion earlier this week with the Ole Anderson hotline segments. On July 24th, Anderson challenged, quote, any rag rider to get in the ring for $10,000. Although during the segment, he talked about it as reviving his old challenge, which apparently in his youth in the Carolinas, Anderson used to offer $10,000 to any mark who could beat him in 10 minutes as a way to show wrestlers were real. Right. Although few people alive remember that or know what the old challenge was. On that segment, Anderson appeared to have lost it, although not to the extent Bill Watts did in a similar situation near the end of his run. On July 31st, after Mark Madden of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette and Pro Wrestling Torch contacted WCW about accepting the challenge, Anderson cut a promo on the 300-pound Madden, saying he was fatter than Haystacks Calhoun and that one of the McGuire twins must still be alive. Anderson was actually pretty funny on this one and tried to work his promo towards drumming up a debate between himself and newsletter writers on the WCW hotline. And Madden, during the past week, faxed WCW a letter asking for his check for $10,000 to get in the ring. And Marvez wrote a column in the Herald about Madden accepting the challenge, going on the idea that Anderson, a vice president with the Turner Company, went on a hotline challenging reporters who criticized him to get in the ring and get beaten up. And on the August 7th hotline, Anderson said basically he meant it all in fun. What do you remember about Mark Madden wanting to actually have a shoot fight with Ole Anderson for 10 G's?
I remember thinking, how silly has this fucking gotten? And I remember thinking, and of course I didn't know Madden that well back then, but I remember thinking that this is a pretty good publicity stunt for Madden, that he could make a little bit of money. And I always kind of, looked up, rolled my eyes at it because I remember the old Ole promos back then. I mean, his promos back then, Ole's promos were fucking real back then. He challenged truck drivers. So you think you're a truck driver and you watch us every week and you think you're pretty tough, you're more than welcome to step in the ring. And I always thought this was an extension of Ole just trying to be Ole Anderson, and instead of pointing towards truck drivers, pointing towards, the quote unquote dirt sheet writers. Thinking that I think he did that thinking that no one would accept the challenge because no truck driver accepted it. If they did, I guess they had no way to find him. But I was surprised it happened. But then when it happened, when Madden, wanted to do it, I thought, well, this will be a very good publicity for Mark. Mark is pretty sharp about that. And you've gone on to meet Mark. He's
great guy.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Big part of Starrcast 2 and 3. We're going to try to have him back for Starrcast 4 as well, if his schedule permits.
Yeah.
By the way, we're going to start announcing some of our headliners and main attractions and our overall theme for Starrcast 4 this next week. You excited about that?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope I can make it.
You hope you can make it.
Yeah, I've been kind of busy.
We're all over the Friday show, so get ready.
Okay.
And we got something planned for you for Thursday night.
Okay. Let me see where Georgia football is that Saturday.
You'll be there Saturday. Don't worry.
Okay.
I know where you're not going to be. You're not going to be at AEW's Full Gear. Instead, You're going to be at home hosting the Missouri Tigers.
Okay. All right, then.
You excited about Missouri beating y'all?
Missouri's not going to beat the Georgia Bulldogs. Would you stop?
What? I mean, they scored 61.
Really?
Yeah. Back in 2016. Mm-hmm. No, seriously. Back in 2016, y'all beat Missouri by 1 point.
Wow. How about that? That was like how many years ago?
3.
Oh, okay.
Just saying.
Not many of those players are still on the team. Hey, this is a pretty good start to this match. I thought Dustin came in looking pretty good.
I hear Kevin Sullivan in the background.
Yeah, he's shaking his collar.
Is that Biggity Bug?
That's Chewy Louie.
Kill that one.
Oh boy.
That one's the jobber. That's the jobber of the Schiavone dogs.
Who is? We got
Chewy Louie.
Chewy Louie, Dooley.
Oh, Dooley is a turd. Dooley is the shock master of the group.
Miss Tilly.
Oh, Tilly's a whore. Yeah, Tilly's an old whore from way back.
And then the bug.
Yeah, Biggity Bug's the one who's over.
Yeah, I know. Damn right he's over. He knows he's over too.
I love this right here where they did rock, paper, scissors with Nick Patrick. And God damn it, the heels win again. Have the baby faces ever won a coin flip or a rock, paper, scissors ever?
They've never won the baby faces have never won a coin toss that I remember in War Games.
Did you see that camera that Jackie Crockett just carried by had a giant JCP on it?
I didn't notice that. No.
Huge.
Wow.
Here he comes. Stevie Ray.
What was he called then? He wasn't called Stevie Ray then, was it?
Cole.
Hole?
Right? What?
Did you say hole? Oh, Cole.
What's wrong with you?
I thought you said hole.
This is, Stevie Ray was Kane. Booker T was Cole.
Kane and Cole.
Are you all right?
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure I got the names right.
I feel like you're having an aneurysm here.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm in perfect. I'm fine. I'm great. Lois not here this week at the house.
Oh, thank God.
You're telling me.
So wait a minute.
Yeah.
I got to come to Atlanta this week.
Oh, that's right.
Does this mean I can come to the house?
Nope.
Wait, Lois isn't there.
That doesn't matter. I'm embarrassed by this house.
Wait.
I am. I'm embarrassed by this house.
Well, why
I would never let my friends here.
How am I going to hang out with you?
We're going to go to Tim's Brew Pub.
But then afterwards, after I've had too many Miller Lights to drive,
I'll just drop you off the airport and you can sleep in the lobby.
I'm driving over.
Oh, you're driving? Oh, I'll drive you home. I don't have anything to do on Friday.
You're going to drive me home to Huntsville, Alabama.
Yep.
And then I'll just fly you back.
That's fine. No, I mean, that's right. You got your car. I was going to drive you in my car.
Well, what are we going to do about my car?
Well, if it's the Rolls, we'll just leave it in my driveway for you. I'll get it to you. Oh, God. That was a very Ric Flair thing to do. I've told you that story, haven't I?
Yeah, that he just left his Mercedes at your house
at my house for a week. Yeah. Just like, what the fuck? Oh, God.
My detailer's cleaning up a car for me, and he's had it for 10 days.
Yeah.
And it's been ready for like 3 or 4, but our schedules aren't connecting where I can come get it or he can bring it or whatever.
Right.
So he's going to have like 3 more days.
All right. So I look forward to, Lois is out of town. Look forward to having you in this weekend, but I can't let you come to the house. I'm sorry.
Why?
Well, first of all, the house is being torn up.
What does that mean?
We got new wood floors being put in the kitchen. They're fixing the ceiling in the basement. We had a water damage done, and
you had some deferred maintenance issues.
Yes.
That now, thanks to Tony
No.
Khan.
I knew you were going to go that direction with it. That's not true.
Oh, thanks to me personally. With all the great success we've had here on the show.
Now, thanks to a water leak and thanks to a deductible from the homeowner's insurance, I was able to get done.
Yeah, same thing. That's what we're saying. The same thing.
Okay. So anyway, the house is going to be torn up. I have workers in here and everything. And I love you. You're my friend, but I can't let you see this house. I can't.
You want to go to Pop Pop's house?
Hell no.
He's got a cool little man cave set up.
I don't give a shit.
You want to go to your boss Cody's house?
Yeah, we could do that.
I mean, he's got space for days.
Yeah, I've been to his house. As a matter of fact, Cody and I live very close to each other now.
Cody, I think Cody's like, I think he's in a good place with his house.
Yeah.
He's like randomly texts me, how many square feet is your house? Wait, I don't know.
They've got a very big house, nice house, but it ain't like the Conradison. Okay?
Oh my gosh. Why are you?
It ain't. It's not like the Conradison. Anybody's ever been there goes, holy fuck.
Why are you doing this?
I don't know. Why do you have a house that size? I don't know. You tell me. Watch out. We got to finish coming in. Look, got him anyway. Hoo-yah. Kicking him, and Dustin goes down. He does juice like his dad would do.
Dude, Dustin is hitting a gusher here. Are those his dad's boots?
That could be.
I think those are his dad's white and yellow boots because they say roads down the side, not natural.
There they go. Do you own these?
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. In the very large, spacious Conradison.
Dude, I'm in a tiny little office that I've made it to my studio, and you're acting like I've got this palatial estate.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the thing about Zillow is,
oh, fuck you. Why are you doing that?
Anybody can find your house on Zillow.
No.
And they'll go, you know what the first thing will be out of their mouth when they say that? What the flying fuck?
Why?
Business is picked up.
You're clipping all that out. Hit me giving all my shit away here on the show. The hell?
Oh, that was a terrible bump. So we missing? I guess the Shockmaster is going to be like the man to come in here and clean house. Yeah, this is Dustin and Vader started things. It was pretty damn good. But now, And apparently, because the way this show is timed here, by the time the final guys get in, they're going to go home. Jesus, we still got 2 and 2 now. So 2 and 2 times 4 is 8 minutes, and we've got like 10 minutes in the show. Oh, they've done that spot once, but they'll do it again. You ever ask Davey Boy Jr. about his dad's robe, if he had that?
No. Mm-mm.
His son is, I think, going to be a big star.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Davey Boy Jr. is going to be big. Yeah, baby. We caught him on top of that steel. You know, basically, you kind of got, I don't know. Look, we have done a War Games match on this podcast before that was a 5-star. Remember that?
Right.
And who was in it?
Sting Squadron.
Yeah, and then Flair, right?
No, he wasn't in that. It was Dangerous Alliance versus Sting Squadron.
Okay. Sometimes I just think some guys are not cut out for War Games. The first War Games worked because there was always issue with the Horsemen and Dusty's friends. To put a War Games up just to have War Games, to me, doesn't work.
Right.
Because the issue here isn't it the issue of Vader and Cactus here? Oh, it's Klondike Bill.
And yeah, Cactus isn't even in it.
That's exactly right.
Too many overlapping storylines for you?
Yeah, yeah. But not enough of the featured storylines. War Games is your feature event, and it should feature any major issues. And the biggest issue is, I don't know, Vader and Cactus. Anyway, it's just me doing what all of you people do. You know, you second guess and rebook and rethink and.
Wait. Why are you saying you people?
I'm talking to everybody who's listening to our podcast. Everybody looks at a match and says, I could have booked that better. Don't they? Most of us do. And not only that, hate to say it, but in this type of match, there should be more blood.
Well, Dustin's
old school.
He's trying to bleed for them all.
And guess what? At Double or Nothing, he did bleed for them all.
Oh yeah. Him and Cody.
Oh my God.
It was nuts.
That was nuts. I mean, right now, everybody should have juice. Vader should be bleeding. It just everybody should be. That adds to the realism of this. And back then, when you're, wow, great maneuver. Great maneuver, pal. Back then, when you're working for Turner back then, I don't know if you could ask wrestlers to bleed. You know, blood was very much taboo back then. And as a booker or as a member of the quote-unquote booking committee, could you ask the wrestlers to bleed? Now, he should go in. First thing he should do is bust his ass. So he should trip and fall right there.
Yeah, I mean, if he's doing the klutzy deal, that would make sense.
Right.
He had plenty of chances to do it too.
Yes, he did. Nobody giving a fuck on the outside.
It's weird to see Booker T in this outfit.
This was a revamped outfit, you know, from when we first saw them.
Meltzer would say, Road Warrior Animal was in Sting's corner for no apparent reason other than he had been advertised in all the cable ads until the day of the show as being a participant in the match, even though at no time was it ever possible that he would be because of his Lloyd's of London policy. WCW must have felt they needed to have him there to avoid complaints by viewers about false advertising. Wow.
Nothing hurts promotion like false advertising.
So here's the bear hug, and you see, look, he's got him and he's looking like, I could stop this. I could stop. I'm just looking. I'm just standing. Somebody's supposed to stop me. Somebody's supposed to cut me off.
That's it.
And now he quits.
It's what we call a popcorn fart finish.
Shockmaster winning with a bear hug.
Wow.
Shockmaster comes in last and wins with a bear hug.
Uh-huh. And they walk out of the ring, leaving them in there with their dicks in their hands.
Let's hear what you're saying on commentary here.
Tell you what, Tony, he got in there, he put the big squeeze on Harlem Heat. And look at, he just fell again. No. Nobody! Look at Vader.
Vader, get back here! Come on back! We demand satisfaction!
And how about Booker T in the background yelling, I didn't quit.
I didn't give up! What's going on here? I did not give up!
Yeah, he
What's
did.
the referee?
Didn't you see him shake his head?
Well, he's claiming he didn't give up, Tony, but I gotta verify with you, yes, he did give up. And who?
How about Booker T just yelling into the camera, I'm going to kill somebody.
Oh. Wow. What a sucker that was. Come on. Everybody's cut a promo on the camera. You might as well do it there, Stevie Ray. Because suckers got to know. Jesse and I are still going to have how many minutes? About a minute to change hands. Houston, Texas, baby. People cannot wait to get out of there.
They are racing for the aisle.
They're racing for the stands. See people throwing shit?
I do. What do you think? What do you think you guys are saying here?
Are you want me to try to pretend, or are you going to pot it up here?
Never mind. Fuck it.
Well, Jesse Ventura, we have seen one of the cogs at the end of WCW. Hopefully soon we'll get Hulk Hogan aboard, and then we'll try to just revamp the company. But right now we are going down the shitter. And don't forget, our next pay-per-view is going to be even worse. Right, Jesse? And what about the outfit you were wearing? Take a look at that piece of shit that you got on yourself. You know what the biggest joke is? The guy to my right's going to be a governor one day. What the fuck?
Unbelievable that this is the worst show. Is this the worst WCW show we've covered, do you think?
Yes, I do. Absolutely. Worst one ever. Oh, Jim Barnett's name in there. Holy motherfucking Christ.
There's our Neil Pruitt.
Yeah.
Who else is on there?
Jeff Bornstein. He does lighting
Sharon
for
Stello,
AEW now.
Mike Weber.
Yep.
Doug Dillinger.
Gary Juster.
Annette Yoder, Jody Hamilton, Bill Dundee, Greg Gagne, Grizzly Smith, Mike Eagle, Jenny Eagle, Gary Juster, like you said, David Crockett. The F in David Crockett is for fuck. David fucking Crockett. And there's your executive producer. And there's our promo. Halloween Havoc 1993, which we've covered. You can catch in the archives. Got to tell you, Tony, pretty disappointing show for WCW, but not for the fans of this show who love Tony Reed's rap. I thought you did a great job today with Back Then and Many Men.
Well, thanks. I'm reluctantly doing this, but since you love it, I'm going to do it. And again, and I'm sincere about this, it is, there's some rap songs out there that are pretty cool, and I enjoy doing them.
I'm sure you're really excited about DJ Quick's Sweet Black Pussy next week. And
yeah,
what? You're not? I know you're.
No, I am. I can just tell you this right now. Don't ever ask me to read rap from anything from Kodak Black.
You should.
I ain't fucking doing it.
I wish you wouldn't have told me that, because it never even crossed my mind until right now. And now it's all I can think about.
Yeah. Well, now you need to think about something else.
Well, here's the deal. I love Kodak Black, as you know.
I don't get it.
And he has a great song called Identity Theft off his album last year.
Yeah.
And it starts like this.
Well,
hang on. Fresh out of jail, but don't think I'm scared to go back, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And later he says, fresh out of jail, made another milli, and bitch don't think I changed because I didn't. And I think Tony Schiavone rapping, fresh out of jail, made another milli, and bitch don't think I changed because I didn't. It's pretty good.
Yeah, because I won't. What's the name of the thing called Identity Theft?
Yeah.
Well, that's apropos, don't you think? Because he is stealing the identity of a rapper.
Well, hang on now. Let's just let our listeners just hear the beginning of the song. Let's just sit. That would be a hit with you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
But there's plenty of other great rappers out there and great songs out there. What's the one rap song that starts out? We got hoes.
Well, all of them.
Okay. All right.
I think maybe what you're thinking about is, all right, and this has been requested a lot. Area Codes by Ludacris. Is that what you're talking about?
Could have been, yeah.
That one? Where you got? I've got hoes. I mean, that is one of our most requested. I think maybe we need to hit that for you one day.
All right.
Because now you're going to be on tour every single Wednesday all across the country.
Yeah.
And you might have hoes in different area codes.
That is doubtful, Conrad, but thank you very much for trying to stir that pot.
Well, I mean, it's not like Lois listens. She ain't going to know.
I know.
And besides, she'd be fine if you did. She wouldn't care. You'd leave her alone. Give her a break. I mean, I was told that you wore that thing plumb out. Manufacturer recall over there, and that's the reason she's out of the house right now. You had to put her in the shop. Put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
Put her in the shop.
I told you, beat it to sleep so many times. She's in traction. She's got an inversion table.
I had to put her up on the rack, lift it up, take a look underneath of her.
I'm not going to reveal the source, but one of the Schiavone children told me, he came over this a few months back. He said, well, you know, since Dad's lost all this weight, he's a lot more active. And I didn't plan on hearing what I heard. And I said, what do you mean? He said, it sounded like he was fucking a stack of plates. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
But I was like, wow. And then a couple weeks ago, you were like, I fuck hot pussy till it's cold. It's like, wow.
Stack of plates.
Are you ready for DJ Quick next week? I don't think you are.
I don't think I am either.
Can I just, can I just give you like a line or two from the lyrics, just as like a tease?
Okay. Read it to me.
Bitch, I'm like Noah's Ark. My bitches come in pairs.
Oh, that's even sacrilegious.
Here's one you'll like.
Okay.
Some of these bitches try to act unfair. Maybe it's because my hair is longer than theirs. But I don't give a fuck. No, I don't care. Cause I'm like Noah's Ark. My bitches come in pairs. You'll have fun with this.
Yeah, I will.
And yes, I hear you. Lots of requests for Too Short. We're going to get there.
Okay.
I mean, lots of people want to hear you do cocktails from Too Short. Have you ever heard that song?
No, Conrad, I've heard none of this shit. The only song I've heard is Ignition.
Well, that Too Short song starts H-E-A-T. All you washed up hoes trying to throw that pee. That's where we are in your life right now.
Yeah.
The things we'll do to make a living.
I know.
Do a podcast with Conrad, they said. It'll be fun, they said. Well, I did have fun today, and I appreciate that everybody stuck with us through one of the worst WCW shows of all time. Fall Brawl 1993. It got 0.9% thumbs up. That's 2 votes overall. 208 thumbs down, 9 thumbs in the middle. Real stinker of a show. But now, thankfully, when I look at my clock, I realize it's about that time.
Rick Rude has already come to the ring. Conrad Thompson. It's Tony Schiavone, Conrad Thompson here at ringside, ready for the Ric Flair versus Rick Rude match. And we are waiting for Ric Flair to come in with that gorgeous purple robe. But wait a minute. Coming to the curtain is Fifi the maid, Wendy, as we all know her. She has grabbed the microphone and she has said that Ric Flair is not going to be able to perform tonight. And she's dropped the mic and she's walked away. Well, she's the boss and them the rules. And we're out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. We're coming to you each and every Wednesday and then again on Mondays on
Patron.
And Nitro, New World Order and the Crow, Thunder Russo, Arquette Champ, Vinnie Mac, simulcast. Tony's back with Conrad, not your classy podcast. Watch along, try not to laugh. Lowest rules, cat back. This wasn't the initial plan. Tom Zigg's a good-looking man. Klondike Bill, make a chant.